They expect he'd be the chairman potentially by the start of spring training. Right now, the chairman is Eric Itsenda.
So does anybody know what John Siler looks like?
Who is this?
Hey, deja vu. It's like the Eric Itsenda conversation.
I'm dead serious.
No idea.
Well, apparently, according to, reports, is like, dude was around the ballpark a lot, yet no one knows what he looks like.
Now, time for Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Hour one, Jon and Jim. We're here until Wild Card football tonight, 5 p.m. Rams, Vikings. Padres fans, we finally have some good news. After a week of animosity and the lawsuits, we learned today, and this is from Kevin Acee now, he reports the Padres are a finalist for Roki Sasaki, who was in San Diego within the last 48 hours. He was here this weekend. Teams, remember it was Juan Soto that spent like a whole week just crossing teams off a list?
Yeah.
He had a piece of paper. He was just crossing them off, man.
Yeah.
Roki reportedly today, Jim.
He's
just crossing names,
was
man.
out, and it was just like, you're out, you're out, you're out, you're out.
Remember we said throughout this 90-day saga that we would be utterly shocked if the Padres weren't a finalist? Well, they're a finalist, but now the hard work, now the real work begins. Can they actually land this prize pitching prospect? Jon Morosi today reporting at MLB Network, this is likely the week we learn where Sasaki lands. He has until January 23rd. The Padres have met in person with Roki Sasaki, by the way, on a Chamber of Commerce weekend when it was 70 and sunny for 48 consecutive hours. So teams are out, Jim. We have the update there. Padres reportedly in. They're not the only team in. He has met in person with Toronto. We know the Dodgers remain a serious suitor as well. But we went from 8 or 9 teams that were in, and it's being whittled down now to maybe 3, 4, 5 teams as we get to maybe the final week of the process.
So the teams that are officially out on Roki are the San Francisco Giants, the New York Yankees, the New York Mets, the Texas Rangers, and the Chicago Cubs. Those are officially the teams right now that are being reported out on Roki Sasaki.
So who's in?
Dodgers, Padres, Blue Jays are in. And I think, unless there's a mystery team.
Ken Rosenthal in this article about the visit.
Yeah.
Look at this. In the first paragraph, there's more teams that are in. He writes as well that, there's other teams in.
Well, it doesn't matter because it's between the Dodgers and the Padres. That is my opinion. That's what I've been saying all along. I'd be shocked if he goes anywhere other than Dodgers and Padres, but give me the other teams.
All right, the teams that were in earlier today. Now, you could cross some of these off the list if they're now out. Are the Rangers out?
Yes.
All right, he writes the Dodgers.
Yes.
So they're in. He writes the Rangers. You say they're out.
Yep.
He writes the Cubs.
They're out.
He writes the Seattle Mariners, which was the team we predicted to be the mystery team, which could be 2 mystery teams between Toronto and Seattle. But if the final 4 are Toronto, San Diego, Seattle, and LA, to me, that means the final 2 are San Diego and LA.
And he has met with the Blue Jays in Toronto. That's been reported. He was here in San Diego this weekend. It's been reported by Dennis Lin. Do you think he went to the rodeo? I hope not. I hope that they didn't take him to the freaking rodeo because that would not be good.
Would you like to get on one of these bowls and check out what it's like to be on field?
He's like, why is it dirt here? Why is there dirt in the infield?
I mean, are you really listen? Shohei Ohtani went to Toronto too, didn't he? And left with all kinds of Blue Jays gear. No, he did before the plane that was heading there. He met in person.
Well, that person has reported Jon Morosi that he was on a plane there, and that did not turn out to be true.
But I'm saying, like, are you really going to the Blue Jays? Like, is he really going to everyone always just speculated to go to the Blue Jays, like Juan Soto and Shohei Ohtani. Nobody goes to the Blue Jays.
No.
So I'm going to cross the Blue Jays off the list. Now, Seattle, I don't know, man. Their pitching's always been good, but they haven't won since like the Reagan administration. So I don't see Seattle as a serious suitor. He was in, and also I like this, Jim. Here are the things I really like. Here are the indicators why they're all in. They've told their other international prospects to wait. Okay, we're not going to sign you immediately when the period opens January 15th. Mm-hmm. He may have met with the Padres last because reportedly he met with the Blue Jays before the Padres. So I like that a lot as well. And what else do I like? That's about it.
This is going to be the ultimate kick in the groin, gut punch, if he chooses the Dodgers over the Padres here. Because it's not just that. Like you just mentioned, the Padres have, along with the Dodgers and the other teams that are still in on Roki, they have put a pause on their international signings. Or at least, the commits that they have, because they cannot officially sign for another couple days. But there could be a scenario where, it's being reported by Jeff Passan and people that get these things right, that he's not going to sign until January 20th?
Correct.
Okay.
Because teams can position themselves internationally to get more money.
But signing period opens on the 15th. And let's say the Dodgers and the Padres, the last two teams standing, and they're putting a pause and a halt on all their signings. Well, probably what's going to happen is those signings that committed to the Padres and Dodgers are going to have to look elsewhere because they can't afford to wait. So they look elsewhere. And if the Padres miss out on Roki and miss out on their potential international signings, if they did not land Roki, that's the worst case scenario for this organization, in my opinion.
This is complete no limit real hold'em.
100%.
This is real. When you play no limit in a poker tournament, I'll give you an example. World Series of Poker, there's a $10,000 buy-in. I think it's up to $25,000. But when you have $2 million of chips in front of you, it's not actually $2 million. Your buy-in was $10,000 to get into the event. This is actual no limit, real money, all in poker is what it is. Because you're right, the loser here loses a ton. And if it's the Padres, I'm going to say this right now. If the Padres lose out on Roki, it's hard for me to envision that they're able to compete at the same level as they were a year ago. I can say that right now, that I don't think if they lose out on, I think if they lose out on Roki, the idea of winning 93 games, being as competitive against the Dodgers in the postseason, to me, seems a little far-fetched. Now, I don't think Roki equalizes everything. I really don't. I just think it's the shot in the arm that the organization needs, and it allows you then to go do more work that is necessary to finish off your roster. But to me, if it's not everything, it's close to everything for the Padres right now as we see it. Yeah, if they miss out on Roki, I am already just going to have a bad feeling going into the season. Right. I already have a bad feeling just because of what has transpired this offseason with, the inactivity and the lawsuit and the back and forth, and just it kind of feels like a mess inside that organization right now. On the inside, they're trying to say publicly that everything's fine, but okay, that's great. They miss out on Roki. That to me would just feel this season's not going to go right. Going into a year with just nothing but bad vibes, nothing. And if they didn't bring back Jerks and Profar, or if they ended up having to trade Dylan Cease, or not having to, but trading him, they just lost Donovan Solano, who signed with the Seattle Mariners this afternoon. You're not bringing him back. It just would be bad vibes all around. Not to say that that's the end all be all to a successful season, but you don't want to go into the year with, you lost it on this guy, you didn't get this done, and you're just not feeling good about yourselves as a team. I agree with that, but here's the other thing, because last Monday when we were reporting on the lawsuit that Shield Seiler filed, we were like, man, this might be the death knell for the possibility of landing Roki Sasaki. That's not an accurate statement anymore. He met with him this weekend. Yeah, I don't think it ever was, but now is it going to be the difference? Maybe we'll find out at some point, but we thought last Monday, and there were others that felt the same way, that this is going to put the Padres at a disadvantage. I think there were already people heading in that thought the Dodgers were the favorite, and you're going to hear from people coming up. I think the Dodgers still could be the favorite. But this idea that the Padres are now out, there is an unknown at the top of the organization, there's a lawsuit for control, the team could be up for sale. Well, he wouldn't waste his time. He's not coming here to waste his time. I think the Padres are a legitimate player for Roki Sasaki, but like the saying goes, finishing second or close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Mm-hmm. You don't want to finish second here. I think they finished second before in some of these sweepstakes for international prize prospects. It does nothing for you. They either win this thing, or Padres fans and you and I are going to see this as a failure. Yeah, I said that the main thing here is going to have to be convincing Roki that you could develop better here than anywhere else. Mm-hmm. And Ruben Niebla is the biggest reason why there. And then you can throw out, hey, you are on a team here that's going to contend. They have superstar players. The city's great. The ballpark is great. It's great for pitchers. You have Darvish here as well, and how close you two are together. You don't have to be in the shadow of Ohtani and Yamamoto in LA. You're not in the biggest market.
you'll be talked about every single day, but not to the if you were in LA, it's just different, right? But the problem with that is that's all great. And I like that pitch. It's if he chooses the Dodgers, we're going to be sitting here next week or, by the end of this week saying, yeah, it probably was just too much to pass up playing with Ohtani and Yamamoto. And on the Dodgers, we're going to be in the postseason every single year.
That or
and a 6-man rotation
or
and
the stability of the organization. Like we don't know what he's going to say, and I don't think he would disparage any other organization, but he might say something that allows you to tie 2 and 2 together. It's like when AJ Preller says we want to win, but we want to do so responsibly. Guess what he's saying? They don't have money. When Mike Schultz says we want to win sustainably, read between the lines. He's saying that they don't have money. If Roki Sasaki with his translator and his agent Joe Wolf say, we thought the Dodgers were the most stable situation for Roki to spend the next 6+ years, that to me indicates that the Padres had a level of instability. But I don't think he does this, Jim, if he's not serious about San Diego. I wonder if he's made up his mind now or not. He has crossed teams off the list. 4 or 5 teams today go off the list. Does that mean he's made up his mind?
I think it's down to like a couple teams. I really do. I think it's 100% down, maybe not 100%, but close to it between the Dodgers and the Padres. We've been hearing too much about these two teams since the Roki, sweepstakes started.
Mm-hmm.
It's been between the Dodgers and the Padres. And I know all these teams have been scouting Roki, longer than this offseason. But it's always felt like it was going to be the Dodgers or the Padres. And that's it. So I hope this decision, honestly, doesn't drag out. I know the 15th is the first day he could sign, and everyone's saying he's not going to choose that day. He's going to choose more towards the end of the week or the beginning of next week. But, when you're down to like 2 or 3 teams, that's, I think, where it's at right now.
The one thing the Padres have, and this is being put in the chat by Jared, that we sometimes forget, I don't think it's a huge factor. I don't even know if it's a factor. As of today, the Padres have more international money than the Dodgers. Roughly $1.5 million more than the Dodgers. That could change the 15th. Dodgers could acquire more money. I think San Diego can acquire more money as well. There's still a limit, somewhere in that 7 or 8 million range. Both the Padres and Dodgers are under that dollar figure, but the Padres, as of now, as we sit here right now on this Monday, January 13th, the Padres have more international money to spend on Roki Sasaki than even the LA Dodgers, although I don't think the difference is going to be $1.5 million if I was guessing.
I don't think it's going to matter. I really don't. It's not like you're saying, oh, we have 20 million and then the other team has 5.
Yeah.
It wherever he goes, he's going to get most of his money early on in his career from endorsements.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. He goes to LA, he could triple, quadruple his salary just by endorsements alone. Same thing in San Diego. He'll double his salary in San Diego with endorsements. So the international signing money, I don't think is a big deal, but if you're a team that is trying to land him, it doesn't hurt to go out and say, hey, we have the most money we're allowed to give you. Like, that doesn't hurt.
No,
it should only help. Like, hey, we have the most money here.
I agree.
We have more money than their team. Like, it should help a little bit. I don't know if it's going to help a lot, but it wouldn't hurt.
The question now is, who is the favorite? Is the favorite the Padres or is the favorite the Dodgers? We'll hear from Ben Badler. He covers Major League Baseball and minor league baseball for Baseball America. He was on the Foul Territory podcast, Ken Rosenthal's podcast. You'll hear from Ben coming up. We've got you covered. As Roki Sasaki, according to John Morosi, could make a decision as soon as this week. We also have Aztec basketball tickets to give away for Saturday against UNLV. We're here until 5. It's Jon and Jim. All right, San Diego Sports 760 has 13 chances to win $1,000 every weekday with the Grand in Your Hand cash contest. That's every hour, 6 a.m. through 6 p.m. Listen for the keyword at the top of every hour, then enter at sportssc.com, presented by Palomar Solar, your trusted partner for solar batteries and roofing. We've got 2 pairs of tickets to San Diego State will be Saturday at VA Hospital. So be listening for that. We'll give away one of those pairs this hour between now and 3 p.m. on Jon and Jim. By the way, you can watch us now on Instagram. We're streaming live right now on Instagram. Search for Jon and Jim. Follow us there. Follow us on X at Jon and Jim, JONANDJIM. We've got you covered. Roki Sasaki, according to John Morosi, Jim, could announce his destination as soon as this week. He has just 10 days as of now to make his decision on next year.
So I'm going to be out of town from
When are you
Saturday. I'm leaving Saturday morning.
Are you driving or flying?
I'm flying.
At what time?
8:45 a.m.
He will make his decision at 8:47.
Correct.
You will not have Wi-Fi.
That long 8:46.
You'll be in the air. He will announce Saturday morning at 8:47. At that point, I'm going to call you soft and be like, you've missed everything, and be doing live show after live show.
Yeah.
I think we'll know his destination by Friday. I don't think he'll officially have signed by Friday, but I think we'll get the report. Roki Sasaki is expected to sign with X team. I think it comes this week.
Can it please happen Friday afternoon at 1:58?
1:58.
That's all I asked for.
What if it happened at 6:03 Friday?
I will
Wrap-up show.
be very upset. And then we'll do a wrap-up show like we're doing one tonight. But 1:58, so at least it gives us like a minute of prep time because that's all we need.
I need no prep time.
Well, I need to like set up things,
I need no prep time.
Okay.
All right. So are the Padres the favorite, even though they haven't been like cut off the list and he's come to San Diego? Does that mean they are the favorite or not? Ben Badler, Baseball America, on the Foul Territory podcast, talking about the favorite right now to land Roki Sasaki.
I mean, I still think the Dodgers are probably the favorites, right? I mean, if we were been talking this time last year, we would have had them the favorites. It seemed like they've been strong on him for a long time. Everything seems to line up in their favor right now, with the exception that they have a little bit less money that they could potentially offer Sasaki compared to pretty much every other team out there. But we're talking a difference of like $1 million or a little under $2 million for a guy who's could wait 2 years and could have signed for $200-300+ million. I don't know that that's going to make much of a difference for him in terms of like what that ultimate difference in signing bonus offers is. But I think the Dodgers, the Padres still remain the favorites right now, but there's still about half dozen or so teams right now that at least think they have some type of chance and are in the mix for him.
Who? One of the other teams.
Yeah, but they've been crossed off. We think there's.
Oh,
I
this
don't
was
even
this
buy
morning. You're right.
I don't buy the 4. Dodgers, Padres, Blue Jays, Mariners. Now he met with Toronto last week, but I don't buy it. I think it's going to be either the Dodgers or the Padres.
I do too. West Coast, closer to Japan, the ties that he has with the players on both teams. You have. I just think it matches up the best with Roki to the Padres or the Dodgers. No other team makes sense to me at this point in time. The Mariners, maybe on paper, but we haven't heard anything about the Mariners. Now, the dreaded secret team always is out there, but
Angels with Ohtani.
Yeah. And then the Blue Jays don't make much sense because Toronto, the flight to Japan is much longer. I don't know, dude. I will sit here and I will stand by, like, all along, I have thought that the Dodgers and the Padres were the 2 teams that would land Roki. He's going to one of those 2 teams. Outside of that, I'd be shocked.
My only trepidation there is the Ohtani Angels sweepstakes 7+ years ago. Because when you go back and Google search that, the Angels were among the teams being considered, but they were not a true favorite. Yes, they were in the American League and he needed to DH. So that was a factor, but I'm not like truly ruling out Toronto or Seattle. It would surprise me. Just like we said 90 days ago, I'd be surprised if the Padres basically weren't one of the final 2 teams standing. Yeah. And I think the final 2 teams are going to be the Dodgers and the Padres. The Dodgers obviously have a lot to offer. We've talked about it. But the one thing we've always said about the Dodgers is that if you're going to be remembered as one of the greats, He's not even going to be their best player on their team during his tenure. You can't be the best player on your team when you play with Shohei Ohtani. And plus, you're not going to be remembered as bringing a title to Los Angeles when the year before you came to LA. They just won a title.
Yeah. What are your goals? If your goals are to win as many championships as possible in the States and be a big part of that,
Yeah,
then it's the Dodgers.
Yeah.
If your goal is to be the best pitcher in baseball and a superstar, well, you could be one of the best pitchers in baseball in the Dodgers, but you're never overtaking the Ohtani shadow in LA. Never. Here in San Diego, you could be a superstar, like superstar. Now, the one thing I was thinking about today that may hurt the Padres is we know for the foreseeable future with the lawsuit going on and all the money they have tied up in Xander and Manny and Tatis and so forth. What if he wants to go somewhere, not for just 6 years, but he wants to go somewhere where he knows he can develop and then eventually sign that long-term contract with that team? You know, because if he goes to the Dodgers, hard pressed to believe that he's going anywhere else after the 6 years are up. He signs with the Padres. After those 6 years, if he becomes what everybody thinks he can become, which is a stud number 1 top 5 pitcher in baseball, likelihood of him staying here long term after 6 years, knowing where the Padres are going, I don't know.
Yeah, but if I'm 23, it's hard enough to commit for the next 6 years. Why not leave yourself an out? Like, do you really need to? You've never played in the States and you want to commit for the next 16 years? Like, I thought it was a rarity what Tatis did. Got the 14-year deal early. I think what Ohtani did was he left himself an out. Came to LA. Angel situation didn't work out. Guess what? Ohtani's no less of a great based on the fact that he's played for 2 teams.
But
right.
But that's what I'm saying is if you are the Padres and if you're a Padres fan out there, if he picks San Diego and he turns out to be really, really, really good, you're not going to want this guy to go anywhere forever.
Who cares?
I know, but
when Juan Soto came here,
but I'm thinking from Roki's mind is like, oh, I want to maybe go somewhere where I know there's stability and I know that I'm going to be there for a long, long time after 6 years.
Well, then don't pick here. But you know what I mean? Like, if I'm Roki or if I'm a Padres fan, I would say the same thing when they landed Soto via trade. Live in the now. Because there's no guarantee that Soto is going to be here for more than 2.5 years. There's no guarantee Sasaki would be here for more than 6 seasons. We have much more on Sasaki and the sweepstakes on the other side. You'll hear more from the Foul Territory podcast, in fact, on this international signing period that opens up this Wednesday. What does it mean for these teams? And Roki Sasaki, Aztec basketball tickets Saturday against UNLV. We'll give them away this hour. We're here until 5. Rams and Vikings at 5 on San Diego Sports 760. Don't go anywhere. It's Jon and Jim.
This update's brought to you by unbound.org. Aztecs, coming off of a loss to New Mexico over the weekend, will take on Colorado State tomorrow night at Viejas Arena, 8 p.m. tip time. You can listen to that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. Moving over to baseball news. We've been talking about it so far all day. We'll talk about it more coming up next. Roki Sasaki. The finalists for Roki are the Dodgers, Padres, Mariners, and Blue Jays. The Cubs, the Yankees, the Mets, the Giants, and Rangers have all been ruled out. And NFL wild card action tonight here on the station. Vikings and Rams, 5:15 kickoff. You can listen right here on San Diego Sports 760. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Now your chance to win a pair of tickets to see San Diego State UNLV Saturday at 5. Viejas Arena, by the way, Aztecs tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Getting close to a must-win game. San Diego State, Colorado State tomorrow at 8. Our pregame coverage will begin at 7 p.m. from outside Viejas Arena. So this international signing period we've been reporting on for months opens up this Wednesday, and teams like the Padres and Dodgers had commitments from international prospects that would take up a portion of their international money. The issue with that is that in this high-stakes game, both the Dodgers and the Padres want to keep their money for Roki.
This is all limit poker right here.
Right. So what are these organizations going to do? This is from Ben Badler regarding kind of the chaos in this international signing period on the Foul Territory podcast.
Chaos has already started. It's already underway. We've already seen one player flip. We're probably going to see some more. There's already teams that are behind the scenes making offers or putting out feelers on these players who are committed to other clubs, and the agents realize, like, hey, we got to do what's best for our player. We don't want to be left scrambling for something if Sasaki signs with this team where our player has an agreement with, and I think you'll probably start seeing some trades too. As early as the 15th, because you can't trade international bonus pool money until the signing period officially opens. You could line up a deal before then and then just execute it on the 15th. But I also think some teams are going to start making trades, even if they don't know for certain that they could sign Sasaki. But if they still think they're in it, it might be a way for them to show Sasaki, hey, like we're all in, like we're doing whatever it takes to get you. We've already lined up all this bonus pool money for you. Like you don't have to worry about us having to, work out, to trade for the bonus pool space to maximize the offer. It's probably going to take multiple trades to do. So I think the earlier teams can do that, the better position they'll be in. So you could see, I think you could start seeing some trades happening pretty soon.
That's all I want come Wednesday morning when Jim is sleeping is the Padres making all kinds of like international slot moves. Like I want to see like Padres free up $195K. They've made a trade with the Brewers for an extra $66,000. Like while Jim's sleeping, like that Wednesday morning, I just want to be retweeting all this extra international money coming over to San Diego.
No, Wednesday morning, I know myself, and because that is the first day that Roki could sign, I'll be up early.
Is it in the morning or come like midnight Eastern? Are we just refreshing?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
But it wouldn't surprise me if news dropped like early in the morning, not on Wednesday, but after like Thursday or Friday. And again, like the likelihood of it dropping on Saturday morning at 8:48 while I'm on a plane up to the Bay Area is like close to 90% happening.
I agree with that, but let me ask you this: why are teams going to have that much interest in acquiring another $250,000, $500,000, $700,000? If we just said the Dodgers are likely not to miss out on Sasaki over $1.4 million,
because, like I said, it doesn't hurt to say, "Hey, we have the most money possible that we can give you."
So, like, it's almost like a sign of good faith. Like, hey, we got 6.5, which is more than the Dodgers, but if the max is 8, We'll do everything in our power to get you up to the max. We're going to clear out all other prospects. We're going to take on additional international money from other organizations. We are going to back up the Brinks truck in this analogy for you to land your services.
Yeah, because it's almost like a team doing everything it possibly can to sign you, even if it's not the number one thing. They still want to do that in a good faith of like, hey, we want to give you the most money possible. We think that you have already made a giant sacrifice by coming over here 2 years earlier than you needed to. When if you just waited, you could have gotten a bigger contract than Yamamoto potentially. And with that being said, we want to do right by you. And if you choose us, we want to get you the most money possible, even if it's an extra $1 million or so.
Man, I really would love to know the motivational factor for Sasaki.
I don't think money's the top of that list. I don't.
Because if it was, he'd wait 2 years. The difference between $7 million
and
325, which is what that's not even comparable.
No.
So, and we saw, like Joel Wolf had said, or some reports, he wants to go down as one of the greats, but you can't guarantee that with any organization. The Dodgers don't control whether your arm remains healthy. The Padres don't control if you're as effective as Yu Darvish over the next 10 years as Darvish was over the previous 10. Like, you can have all the hopes and dreams in the world, but like, what is the true motivational factor for Roki? Is it winning? Is it developing? Is it comfortability? I mean, it's going to be fascinating because we're going to find out sooner rather than later, and then we'll hear from him.
Yeah. The number one thing, I think, just from everything that we've read and heard, is where can I be developed the best?
Mm-hmm.
What organization can do right by me and develop me into, a top 3 pitcher in baseball? I have the stuff. I throw 100. Like I have electric stuff. We talked to Kyle Glazer a bunch. I think we're gonna have Kyle Glazer on tomorrow. He says this guy's stuff is electric, and all you need to do is just like hone that in and develop that even more there. Where can I go that gives me the best chance to do that? I think that's probably close to the top of the list. And then if you want to throw in, location and
market
size and
success, payroll. Like, I still do wonder, and I think Mike Schild is a little bit of like a wild card because he says some really bizarre things to the media. But I go back and I think to myself, why did Mike Schild at the beginning of the winter meeting say we expect to land Roki Sasaki?
Is he going to be right?
Was he really that far out of turn to say that without any knowledge of the situation? Because again, if they don't land them, I think you look back on that statement from Schild and he's going to look really foolish. And if he does ultimately come to San Diego, I'm going to be like, Mike Schild knew it all along. The other thing is, if he lands at the Dodgers, people have talked about this for months. Like, is there a handshake deal? Remember, his agent, Joe Wolf, said, like, that's offensive to me to consider that there's some type of deal in place outside of this process. That's what Joe Wolf essentially said, that there is not a handshake deal. But if he ends up with the Dodgers, aren't we all just going to say to each other,
yep,
they've known this for 6 months, or they've known this for a year plus that he was going there?
Oh, absolutely. He chooses the Dodgers. It will be one of those,
of course.
Shocker, chose the Dodgers. It was them. It was the Dodgers all along. And that's a tough spot to be in for Roki. If there truly was not a handshake agreement or anything that was reported about, how the Dodgers have this thing locked up already. And if he did go into this with an open mind and he, made his choice based on what he feels was best for him, and it wasn't a situation where the Dodgers were a clear-cut favorite before these meetings started, that sucks for Roki because he's going to be labeled as a guy and this whole thing was a sham to begin with. If that happens, this whole thing, if he goes to the Dodgers, will be labeled as a complete sham because of his ties with Yamamoto and Ohtani and the quote handshake agreement already. And it will suck. It will suck. It will be like, how not only did the Dodgers just spend more money than everybody, they're just throwing their weight around in the international market already and they're getting these players without even having to like go through this whole process they had them to start with at the beginning.
A couple of texts here. 619 says, and you can text us 70470, start it with team. Where do you think he signs? 70470, start it with team, or call us. We'd love to hear from you. 877-767-4760, or open the talkback mic on the free iHeartRadio app. But 619 says, as a lifelong Padre fan, I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Dodgers will get him. We'll be left out in the cold. And then 503 says, Roki isn't coming here. This is all just one big spectacle. Can we focus on Padres ownership being so inept that they couldn't retain Kyle Higashioka and now Donovan Solano? I don't think it's as simple as that. I really don't. I think that, honestly, are you going to replicate it if you're Solano next year? My guess is no.
How much he signed for? Do you see that?
No idea.
It's a 1-year deal with the Mariners.
Dude, he's not a kid, and he's coming off like a career year, and there's no guarantee he was going to do anything close to that next year. So I don't fault it for letting him move on. And then Higgy, the same thing. It's like you pick and choose. I mean, we would have preferred to have him as opposed to not, but I don't think it has to do with the ownership being inept that Donovan Solano won't be here in 2025.
It was a 1-year, $3.5 million contract.
I don't think it has to do with money.
That includes a $1 million performance bonus.
Do you think that has to do with money, or do you think that has to do with the fact that Solano's coming off a really good year and the odds of him replicating it probably aren't high?
Well, the difference between Solano is the dude just hits.
He does.
Wherever he goes, he hits.
He's also old.
He is old, but look at his track record the last 5 seasons. He's a career 280 hitter.
He's 37. I mean, he wasn't even, I mean, he was on the scrap heap when they signed him last year, right?
Yeah,
they wasn't with any other organization.
They signed him to a minor league contract, and it turned into a major league deal. But what did he hit last year?
He hit 286. He had a 1 WAR season in 309 plate appearances. He had a nice year. He was a good player.
For $3 million, not bad.
No, he's not. But again, I'm not willing to say the Padres organization is inept because Donovan Solano moves on.
No, but it also shows you a little bit maybe that they just didn't want to spend $3 million. I tend to more or less think that front office might be thinking to themselves, all right, we got what we needed to get out of him, and to push it any further probably wouldn't be wise.
That's my thought. All right, the latest on Roki on the other side. Is he signing this week? Where is he likely heading? Also, we're giving away Aztec basketball tickets for Saturday on the other side. Do not go anywhere. We'll give those away in the next 5 or 10 minutes. We're here until 5 p.m. It's Jon and Jim. So download the all-new iHeartRadio app and put Jon and Jim in your free sets, as well as San Diego Sports 760. Free sets on the all-new iHeartRadio app, the #1 audio app in the world that's gotten better. So make sure you check it out. Download the all-new iHeartRadio app.
Hasn't updated yet, because if it did, you would let me know.
I would have called you in the middle of the night.
Correct. You'd be like, dude, it updated. I'm sleeping, you idiot.
I'm kind of giving up to the fact that it'll ever update for me.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I think everyone else has the new app.
Everyone does, yes.
But for some reason, I don't have access to it. So get into the App Store, download the all-new iHeartRadio app. MLB.com is reporting what we've been talking about, which is it's down to 4 teams right now. Dodgers, Padres, Mariners, Blue Jays. We know that he has met in person within the last week with both the Blue Jays in Toronto and the Padres in San Diego. Reportedly, he met with the Padres this past weekend in San Diego, talking about Roki Sasaki. He's obviously met with the Dodgers in person. He spent a week there.
Where'd they go in San Diego? Best guess.
I don't think you can go anywhere public. I think maybe you can go to Yu Darvish's house or Manny Machado's house, obviously Petco Park. I don't think you're hanging out with the pandas. Waiting in line would be my guess.
Let me take you to Lolita's. Oh, wait, it's not there anymore.
Yeah, I don't think people saw him in La Jolla.
Probably not. I would bet that it was a tour of the ballpark, even though the ballpark is now currently a rodeo.
Right.
But just probably they took him around the city and maybe they went out to dinner.
But did that? I mean, if you went out to dinner, wouldn't have someone reported on it?
Bro, there's 2 people that report on the Padres in this town.
No, report on, dude. We don't Brent doesn't report on the Padres, but if he was out at dinner and saw Roki Sasaki, he would text us yo, Roki Sasaki's at dinner.
You know how many people in the town wouldn't know who Roki Sasaki is?
Well, all the people that watch and listen to our show every single day.
Okay, that's 3,000 people.
You got a much better chance of knowing who Roki is than John Seidler.
Oh, 100%.
Well, maybe that's why nobody saw him, because John Seidler and Roki, and everyone's like, who are these 2 people?
Yeah, no one knows who John Seidler is.
There's no way he was out in public and people wouldn't react to it. With AJ Preller and Roki Sasaki?
I don't know, John.
I do. I think it was very secretive.
If you saw Roki this past weekend, let us know.
I'm tweeting it to everyone.
Yeah, 70470. Sorry you messaged with the team. Hit up us on.
Oh yeah, I saw him.
Hit us up on the text line. We need to have first-hand accounts of Roki Sasaki out there.
Wasn't he at Trujillo's on San Diego State's campus? You know, everyone's always like,
yeah. He was at the Broken Yoke.
I think he was at the Jam. He was with
shooting some hoops with Dutch.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, to meet in person, though, confirms what we've been saying all along, which is the Padres are serious suitors here. Don't waste your time doing it, I think.
That's what I said. I go, look, there's going to be an initial first round, and I would bet that there's going to be a second round where he knocks off a bunch of teams, and he goes to that city to check it out. There was no way he was going to pick a team without at least visiting that city first. No shot.
We'll give away Aztec basketball tickets in just about 3 minutes, so do not go anywhere. Yeah, you're right. Again, to me, pursuing a free agent is way different than pursuing Roki Sasaki. Free agency has everything to do with money.
Yep.
And the players are all fully aware of the other major league clubs. Sasaki hasn't resided in the U.S. And Sasaki, for all these clubs, there are limitations. You can only spend so much. So, this is completely different to me than a true free agent courting. When the Padres landed Manny Machado, it's because they offered Manny Machado the most money.
Yeah.
Yamamoto, the Dodgers, they had $325 million. Ohtani to the Dodgers, $700 million was the reason. He's not choosing LA solely because of the money. Now, could he make a lot of money in endorsements there? Yeah, absolutely. But he's not choosing LA solely because of the money. So that's a bit of an equalizer for me. If typically you'd say, yeah, the Dodgers have the upper hand on the Padres, I get it. They have more money. I agree with that. I think in free agency, are the Padres going to land Yoshinobu Yamamoto? No, they don't have the money.
No.
But in this process, this gives them a legitimate shot that didn't exist with Ohtani last offseason and didn't exist with Yamamoto last offseason.
Not only do the Padres need Roki more than I think any team in baseball, this show needs Roki.
Correct.
There's not a single show in this town.
We've earned it, man.
Exactly. Me and you and Brent, we have earned this because no show in town has planted their flag solely in the Roki sweepstakes more than us. We have been talking about this guy ever since the season ended, ever since the Roki sweepstakes begun. This show, Jon and Jim, we are firmly entrenched in the Roki Sasaki sweepstakes.
Now, hopefully he hasn't been watching, because nobody's been more critical of the Padres ownership situation, which means more truthful than we have over the last week.
We have not been critical of Roki.
No, never.
Never. We would never be critical of you, my guy.
No, we've been really honestly complimentary of AJ
you.
Preller all offseason. We've just said, is the Padres ownership going to hold them back? I still think it's a legitimate, fair question. Is this ownership spat, this tit for tat, going to hold them back from ultimately making the moves that are necessary this offseason to compete, or even landing Roki Sasaki? I think it's a legitimate question. Kevin Acee wrote about it today. Ken Rosenthal wrote about it today. It's the one thing you wish you didn't have to talk about. Like, if the ownership thing wasn't going on, I personally believe they'd have a better shot.
Okay.
But the ownership thing is going on. I just hope that's not the difference between landing him or not.
I never thought that. I didn't like, obviously, how it came out, because now that is the number one story with this franchise going forward. The direction going forward of this team is like, do they sell? What's going to happen? How is this going to be resolved?
Mm-hmm.
And I saw a lot of people like, I can't believe Shield did this right when they're trying to sign Roki. One, there's no right time to do it. And in Shield's case, you got to do it now, because if you don't, then you have no shot of disrupting Major League Baseball voting on John Seither becoming the official control person.
Which he still doesn't.
Which you're probably right. But the timing of it, again, it is what it is.
I'd prefer the day after he signed with the Padres.
I know you
the
do.
Lawsuit,
I don't think it plays too much factor in it, really. I think the things that we've talked about, like development, location, where this team is at as far as the players they have, and Ruben Niebla, I think those play more of a factor than, the instability or the infighting between the Seither bros and Shield.
Breaking news from Jeff Passan.
Oh, give it to me.
Here are the official finalists for Japanese star right-hander Roki Sasaki. The Los Angeles Dodgers, the Toronto Blue Jays, and the San Diego Padres. There are 3 finalists for Roki Sasaki: the LA Dodgers, the Toronto Blue Jays, and the San Diego Padres. And then there were 3. There's your breaking news from Jeff Passan. We'll react on the other side. Call right now if you want Aztec basketball tickets.
Yes.
Hold on. Call right now if you want Aztec basketball tickets. Caller 7, you're going Saturday against UNLV at 5 p.m. 2 free tickets. Great giveaway. Saturday at 5 p.m. 2 free tickets. 877-767-4760. Caller 7, you're going. What do you got?
For the person in the YouTube chat, like saying, Jim, I can't believe you're spreading misinformation that the Cubs are out. The Cubs are in
They're
it.
out.
They're out, bro.
They're out, dude. And by the way, no one in the YouTube chat has any clue.
No.
Jeff Passan, if you've been listening to him on these podcasts, he has said that there's only so much speculation you can do. We're trusting Passan. Then there were 3, including the Padres. We'll react to kick off hour 2 of Jon and Jim next.
This update is brought to you by unbound.org. Passenbaum, Jeff Passen is reporting officially the 3 finalists for Roki Sasaki are the Toronto Blue Jays, the LA Dodgers, and the San Diego Padres. Of course, Sasaki cannot sign with the team until Wednesday at the earliest. San Diego State, coming off their loss to New Mexico, will take on Colorado State tomorrow night at Viejas Arena, 8 p.m. tip time. You can listen right here on San Diego Sports 760. NFL news of the day. Future Bears head coach Mike McCarthy is not returning to the Dallas Cowboys. And tonight, final game of Super Wildcard Weekend, Vikings take on the Rams in Arizona because of the wildfires in LA. You can listen to that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Previously on Jon and Jim.
I need to hear from John Seidler. Now, he's not even the chairman yet. They expect he'd be the chairman potentially by the start of spring training. Right now, the chairman is Eric Itzenda.
So does anybody know what John Seidler looks like?
Who is this?
Hey, we're deja vu. It's like the Eric Itzenda conversation.
I'm dead serious.
No idea.
Well, apparently, according to, reports, is like, dude was around the ballpark a lot, yet no one knows what he looks like.
Now, time for Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? It's hour 2 of Jon and Jim. Chris Hodge taking Vegas. He's got free NFL picks, college football picks for our listeners coming up at 4:30. We have more Aztec basketball tickets for Saturday to give away. We're streaming live, by the way, right now, not just on YouTube, not just on 760, not just on the iHeartRadio app, not just on 101.5 Channel 2 HD Radio, but also on Instagram. Search for Jon and Jim on Instagram. We are there for you. We can react to your comments on Instagram. You can watch us live on Instagram in addition to YouTube. So make sure to check out Jon and Jim. Again, we're reacting to the breaking news from Jeff Passan that Jim just told you about in his update. It is officially 3 teams that remain in the running for Japanese star right-hander Roki Sasaki: Padres, Dodgers, and Blue Jays. He's got a chance to do the funniest thing ever.
Yeah,
which is Toronto.
Not really the funniest thing ever for us, but to everyone else.
Like, if he ends up with Toronto, he essentially becomes irrelevant to our listening audience.
Yeah,
because we're not talking a lot of Blue Jays baseball.
He's a big Joe Carter fan.
Yeah, he must be if he ends up there.
We won't mention Roki that much until they play the Blue Jays, if at all.
I still think the Blue Jays have to be a distant third. Isn't this? We started the offseason by saying it's going to come down to the Dodgers and the Padres, and they're 2 of the last 3 teams standing, and truthfully might be the last 2 teams standing. And also Jeff Passan writing that he'll decide by the closing of his posting window, which is January 23rd. That's 10 days from now.
10 more days.
10 days. It's going to be before the 23rd. By the way, the posting period opens 6 a.m. Pacific Wednesday. Set your alarm now. 6 a.m. Pacific.
So, I'm going to the Bay Area this weekend.
Nice.
It is nice.
Yeah.
So I'm leaving Saturday morning. I'll be there Saturday through Tuesday morning. I'll be back for the show Tuesday. Obviously, we have Martin Luther King Day off because Martin Luther King is on Monday.
Get up that Niners game?
What?
Niners.
Oh, yeah, they're playing this
Playoff
weekend.
Game?
They're playing the Cancun special.
That's right.
Yeah, the Cancun Invitational.
Yeah, that's right.
They're playing the Bengals.
All right, so you're going from Saturday morning until Tuesday morning?
Yeah. So what's going to happen?
Gosh.
So Monday, because it's one of my best friends, Daniel, he was at the wedding. One of my best friends, his birthday.
Is he the golfer?
Yeah. And so
There's Willard?
He coaches Willard's son.
Right.
Yeah, he's a golf pro. And
Jude?
No, not Jude. His oldest son.
Abe.
That's his name?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So like 2 weeks ago, he asked me, he's like, hey, Jim, you should come up to the Bay Area and play golf with me for my birthday. And he had this big old, like me and a couple of other buddies, they're playing at like one of the nicest golf courses in California. It's called Maikama. They give you like your own caddy for the day.
Okay.
Like it's just top of the line. And because he's a pro, he's getting us all in there for like nothing. And so anyway, I'm golfing on Monday. If this dude, Roki, wants to sign, he's going to do it on Monday because I'll be completely out of pocket. I won't be looking at my phone for like 4 hours. Like not to the extent of how I usually look at my phone, but
I'll text you and you'll respond.
But I'm going to be focusing on golf.
Will you, though, if he signs?
I mean, look, I'll be looking at my phone, yes, but it's just going to happen on Monday when we're golfing. I know it's just either Saturday morning when I'm on a flight or Monday afternoon when I'm golfing.
Dude, honestly,
those are the 2 days that he's going to sign.
If it's San Diego, I don't care. He can sign at the most inopportune
but
time.
I care, John.
If it's San Diego, it's not about us. Okay,
no, it's about us.
We've put in the work.
It's about me and you.
We have put in the work. Nobody even knew who this dude's name was until we mentioned it like 4 months ago, and we've obsessively talked about it each and every day, and for good reason, because Jeff Passan says, and then there were three: Padres, Dodgers, and Blue Jays are the last team standing. I don't care when he signs, if he signs with the Padres. Simple as that. It could be the most inopportune time possible. If it's the Padres, I'm on board.
Yeah, but you know me and my track record with missing things, and I just don't want to miss this one because we put so much work in on it.
So much.
I really have. I missed you, Darvish. I missed Manny Machado. I missed, what else did I miss? Something else. I forget. But anyway, I've missed a lot.
I love how, like, I'm looking at this chat, and we appreciate everyone hanging out. Again, you can text us 70470, start it with team, or hit us up on the talkback mic, or call us 877-767-4760. I love all these definitive statements like, he's definitely going to LA, and here's why, or he's not going to San Diego because of the ownership. You have no idea. I mean, the reason you're here watching is the same reason we're here talking about it, because you want to know like everyone else does. Jeff Passan wants to know. If this was hook, line, and sinker done, Passan would report on it. It's not done. He just pulled the Juan Soto special. He crossed names off the list. He went from like 10 to 3 like that. We heard 6, 7 teams come off the list, but it's not done. If it was done, you'd hear from Passan.
And it wasn't like he's the Marlins and the A's,
right,
and the Pirates,
right,
the Yankees, the Mets, the Giants, the Cubs, the Rangers, the Mariners, like all of those teams, big boy teams, off the list. So yeah, it's now basically we sit and we wait.
We do a lot of sitting.
We do a lot of sitting. We do a lot of waiting. We do a lot of talking.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think we might know before he officially makes. Like, don't you think?
Yeah, I do.
Don't you think?
Because when Passan reports something like that, remember, there's agents and there's teams. So here's what's going to happen. Here's how we'll find out before Roki makes the announcement. His agent will notify teams when they're out. That's happened today.
Yep.
They just notify teams that are out.
And then it was one of those like, well, cat's out of the bag. Can't stop this now. Might as well just let it all out there.
So the next step of the process is he's going to notify 2 of the 3 remaining teams, hey, thanks, but no thanks.
And to everybody on social media, in the chat, on YouTube, Instagram especially, all the Dodger fans out there that have flooded our timelines.
Yeah, they have flooded it.
X, you better hope he doesn't go to the Dodgers. If he comes to San Diego.
Well, you better hope he goes to the Dodgers if you're a Dodger fan.
Oh, yeah. You better hope that he goes to the Dodgers. You better hope he doesn't come to San Diego. Because if he comes to San Diego, man,
you'll never hear the end of it.
You'll never hear the end of it from us. Ever, ever, ever. I'll go back, and I've saved some stuff, like ready to pounce if Roki picks San Diego. Man, you better be freaking ready, because you won't hear the end of it. Now, again, their counter is, well, you'll never hear the end of 24 straight scoreless innings.
True.
But,
true.
But we move on. We move forward, and this is our white whale right now. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that have been fully convinced throughout this process that it's already a foregone conclusion, and this thing is already done. Like we've heard a lot of that this thing is already done, and the fact that you're even talking about it is like, why are you even talking about it? If choosing between the Dodgers and the Padres, it's no choice at all. Again, it's easy to say something like that, but until it's done, if it was done, I just go back to this. If it was done, Passan would tell us it's done. Yeah. I don't think it's done.
Now, again, there's multiple accounts out there that will say things and they'll claim to be right. And it's like, you got to look at basically a couple people. One of them, top of the list, Jeff Passan.
Right.
When Jeff Passan says it, it's 100% true. If Dennis Lin reports it, I'm going to take Dennis Lin's side. Same with Kevin, right? Those are the reporters I believe in for the Padres especially. But like, I sent you a funny tweet today. This account, it's just I don't even know.
Right.
This account gets a lot of stuff right. and it's from the account called MLB Scoops. It's so stupid how I'm even talking about this right now, but like, I mean, those are kind of the things where I hate seeing of like all those like accounts that get stuff right that no one really knows of, and then they're all saying, "Well, Sasaki to the Dodgers, Sasaki to the Dodgers," and it just, again, I'm not going to fully believe it. I'm not even going to believe it to 1%, but I still don't like seeing that.
Is it one of those accounts though that actually predicts everything and then they retweet themselves when they're right? I'll give you an example. Someone's like, "I told you that the Braves would win the 2019 World Series," but you go back and you look and they picked all 30 teams in 2019 to win the World Series. Then they just retweet themselves.
No,
it was
it's-
actually the Nationals. I think
No,
won
like
20.
what day did Juan Soto sign with the Mets?
No idea. Was it right before the start of the winter meetings? So early December, like the night before.
It says right here, December 11th.
Yeah, so right around the winter meetings.
And this account said Soto to the Mets on December 3rd. So I'm like, okay.
But did it also say like Soto to the Yankees?
No, he didn't.
Okay.
He also said a couple days ago, before the variable news, variable goes to the Patriots.
Wait, so he does non-MLB scoops too?
I don't know.
Scoops?
I don't even know why I'm talking about this. I shouldn't be. It's
You
stupid.
shouldn't.
It's what's completely and everything wrong with social media nowadays.
Padre
but I
Donkey
fall in that
says
trap.
MLB scoops is trash, Jim.
I know, and I fall into the stupid trap. I fall into the only time it's going to be mentioned is if Jeff Passan reports it or Dennis or
Yeah, broken clock is correct 2 times a day. Someone says, I mean, everyone's going to get something right. It doesn't mean they actually have any insight. You know what's going to happen, dude? If you let the Dodgers, everyone's going to flood the chat and be like, I told you, they had no insider info.
Right.
They're as clueless as anyone else, but they're going to look right. And by the way, if you choose the Dodgers, person's going to tell you, we told you it was a possibility.
I just want to see as much good vibe as possible. You know, I want to see as many people saying Sasaki to the top as possible. He is.
Is it true when Jason Wynn writes that Manny Machado, and this means nothing, that Manny Machado and Jackson Merrill are both following Roki Sasaki on Instagram? Again, means nothing. Well, it means something. I don't think it means nothing. So Roki's on IG?
At ROUKI.
Oh, that's right.
Sasaki. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm following
Okay,
him
I'm
right
following
now.
right now.
So I'm already following him. But let's see here. The people that are
Yeah.
following him, you Darvish is following him.
Makes sense.
Okay. Who else is following him? Mike Trout's following him.
So he's going to the Angels?
He's going to the Angels. Let's look here. Let's see here. Manny
Wait, we have 9 mutual.
Machado. I don't see Machado.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Roki, who Roki follows. Sorry. Roki follows Darvish. Roki follows
Okay.
Mike Trout. But who follows? Yeah, okay.
Right. So who follows Roki? And how do you see that?
Let's see here. Machado. Manny Machado follows him.
You see Merrill? Mike Miller says Merrill's following him.
Yep.
So multiple say
Merrill's following him.
But again, what does that mean?
Jim Russell's following him.
John Schaefer. But what does it mean?
Not a lot.
Not a lot, right?
Not a lot, no. But when Roki starts following those players,
Ooh, that's like in recruiting.
you're
in
absolutely
college football, college basketball.
I will 100% look at that. Right now, he's not. He's only following 140 people. Yu Darvish is one of them, though. Does he follow Yamamoto? Let's see if he follows Yamamoto.
He definitely follows Yamamoto, and he definitely follows Otani. So there's
yeah.
nothing really to say here.
He follows Yamamoto.
And he follows Otani. Is Otani even on Instagram?
He is. He follows Otani.
Of course. So there's nothing to learn.
they were teammates for Team Japan, so no surprise.
All right, much more on this. Plus, we'll get into NFL Wild Card Weekend. Plus, we have more Aztec basketball tickets to give away for Saturday. Plus, Chris Hodge taking Vegas free picks on the NFL postseason coming up at 4:30. He was outstanding last week. He's been great for our listeners all season long. He'll join us at 4:30. We're here until playoff football at 5 p.m. Vikings and Rams. It's Jon and Jim. I keep up with San Diego Sports 760 anytime, anywhere. Whether you're stepping out of the car or settling in at home, you can play at 760 for the left of the hour radio. San Diego Sports 760 goes where you go. Waiting on Roki Sasaki. Just waiting.
I like how every break, like, we are waiting until
January 23rd.
no, we're waiting until Vikings and Rams. I want you to say that we're just going to wait until Roki decides.
What would piss me off is if we got Roki news. You know what I mean? Now listen, NFL postseason, we get it. Massive, huge game tonight. We had football this weekend. We had that Saturday afternoon game where the Chargers were blown out. We've got tonight Vikings. Listen, how come when the college football playoff opening round isn't good, why is Tennessee in the playoff? But then when the Chargers get blown out by 30, just it's fine. Every game sucked other than the dude doinking a ball off the upright last night. Every game sucked.
I thought last night's game was kind of
Other
good.
than the game last night. Other than that was great.
Oh, yeah, that moment.
But you have 5 games, 4 of which were no better. The average margin in those 4 games was more than the average margin in the college football playoff opening round. But nobody has anything to say about it.
Yeah.
It's just football is my point. It's sports. Not every game is going to be close.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I viewed it. I was like, if we get one amazing game this weekend, I think that's a win. Just because the way sports work is it's just so like up in the air. You never know what's going to happen. And to expect to have multiple like great games, that's tough. This weekend we've had now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 football games. The 8th is tonight. We've had 3 out of the 7 be really good.
The 2 college football semis were great.
Mm-hmm. Last night's game was really good.
Not great,
but really good.
Yep.
Compelling. Every other game in the wild card weekend so far sucked. So
this should be a good game tonight.
If tonight's a good game and it ends up being kind of like last night's game, or
then
maybe even
4
better,
of 8.
4 of 8.
That's good.
50%.
That's good.
That's
good.
amazing.
I agree with that. Yeah, you can't. That's the thing with like live sports. Like you can't guarantee what's going to happen. People are like, "Oh man, this is going to be an epic clash." Maybe people said that about Vikings Lions week 18. This is going to be a memorable, historic, monumental. I remember Cynthia Freeland was like, the margin is the slimmest of slim. It could come back down to 1 point or one final play, but it doesn't always work like that. And now we have 7 of the final 8 standing. We'll find out on Vikings Rams. But again, it happens. Sometimes you have great weekends of NFL postseason football. Other times you don't. Doesn't mean next weekend won't be great. We might have 4 great games next weekend.
Yeah.
In the divisional round.
Yep. And then we might have 4 awful games.
Exactly.
Or we might have 4 good games and then awful national championship game between Ohio State and Notre Dame.
Right.
So again, I think we're lucky that we got this much football this weekend. And to have the 2 college football semifinal games be as good as they were was a sports fan's dream. And then we get the good game to end last night. I mean, yeah, look, it is what it is. It's sports, and hopefully tonight's a good game as well. But if it's not, it's okay. It's fine.
Did you see that in Arizona, like they've pulled out like all the stops? They're rolling in like a Rams field. Like the Arizona field crew like turns it over to be a Rams field. I saw you could sit 50-yard line, I think, for just $100 or $200. I don't know if this game is sold out tonight or not.
I don't know either.
I'm hoping for a really good game tonight. I think it has a chance to be a good game, and the winner of this is going to Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. So the winner of tonight's going to Philly on a short week, by the way. It's a Monday night. The Philly game is Sunday. So there's a 6-day turnaround. Both of these teams are on the road right now.
Yeah.
So there's that factor as well. I like the Vikings tonight. I just think that everything LA's gone through, plus relocating the game. Yes, I think the Vikings are probably let down off losing to the Lions last week. I just think the Vikings, this is a better spot for them, considering everything that's happened in Los Angeles and having to move the game. And I think the Vikings are good at 14-3. I just think they'll find a way. What do you think happens?
I think the Rams pull this one out tonight.
You like the quarterback battle.
I do.
Going to LA, which makes sense.
I think the Rams defense has been playing pretty good of late. And the Vikings game against the Lions to end the season really concerned me. Because I thought that was going to be way closer than what it was, and the Lions just kind of walked all over the Vikings. Sam Darnold looked awful. And if that was your tune-up for the postseason, where you're going to be playing every single game on the road now, unless the Commanders beat the Lions,
Right.
I don't trust Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold's had a fantastic year, but I just don't trust him in this situation. I don't, especially with what I saw that last game against the Lions.
Right. It's like at the end of the day, it's like even like Baker Mayfield. Like you had a great year, and now you're in the postseason, and you're getting beat by a rookie quarterback that
Who
made
is
more
special.
plays down. He is, and that's how they won all year with all those late game comebacks. But like you're getting beat by a rookie at home. Like Baker's kind of Baker. Yeah, great year, amazing year, awesome year. But when it really matters, and he even said as much post games, like there's some stupid plays from tonight that I was a part of that I'm going to be thinking about for a long time.
Yep.
You know? So you're right. Maybe at the end of the day, when these quarterbacks revert to maybe who they are, like these are big moments. And you're right. Who's got the experience? Matt Stafford's won at a really high level.
On a Super Bowl.
He's won it. Yep. So I could buy that in a close game. I'm trusting Stafford more.
And
Definitely.
And look, being in Arizona for them isn't ideal.
Sure.
But it's not a long flight. It's what, an hour and a half?
If that.
If that, from LA. The setup is going to be different, but still, it's inside of a dome. Arizona has a great stadium. So I don't know if it's going to affect them that much because they're still not traveling across country like the Vikings are.
Sure.
And this game wasn't postponed. It's still being played, regular scheduled. So, yeah, I mean, I'm picking the Rams tonight in a close game. But again, if the Vikings do win, I wouldn't be surprised either because they're a really good team.
I'm just hoping for a really good game. Tonight, beginning at 5 on San Diego Sports 760. So we're here for the next 90 minutes. Chris Hodge from Taking Vegas with free picks on tonight and the NFL postseason coming up at 4:30. The latest on Roki Sasaki, who is down to 3 finalists, including the Padres. Plus, is that good? The best and worst of the sports weekend coming up this hour on Jon and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by unbound.org. San Diego State coming off their loss against New Mexico over the weekend. Take on Colorado State tomorrow night at Viejas Arena. 8 p.m. tip time. You can listen right here on San Diego Sports 760. Jeff Passan reporting moments ago. The 3 teams that are officially the finalists for Roki Sasaki are the Toronto Blue Jays, LA Dodgers, and the San Diego Padres. NFL news of the day. I'm blanking on his name. I'm blanking on his name. Brent's new head coach for the Bears. Mike McCarthy. I blanked on his name. I thought it was good. I'm such an idiot.
Good. Hopefully the Bears do too.
Yeah. Mike McCarthy will not return to the Cowboys. Instead, he'll probably be the new Bears head coach. And tonight, final game of Super Wildcard Weekend as the Rams take on the Vikings. Arizona. Winner moves on to take on the Eagles. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
All right, with you until 5 p.m. Chris Hodge taking Vegas. We'll get us ready for tonight. Rams Vikings will join us at 4:30. We also have Aztec basketball tickets to give away for Saturday.
I thought you forgot who was playing in tonight's game already. No, I don't know why my brain party. My brain just shut down. Like I knew McCarthy was the last name, but I was like, I cannot think of the first name.
You went 10 seconds without speaking, and I was not going to bail you out.
No, I'm an idiot.
Nor was Brent.
Mike McCarthy. Brent better learn his name really well because he's not the Bears next head coach. If he does, what will we do? How bad? On a scale of 1 to 10, yeah. Would you even watch Bears football? Still watch. But how hard will you be even lose? Yeah, I'll start with Alvin. All right. Maybe we can go back to Green Bay. Go home. What if the Bears they hire Mike McCarthy and then they bring in Aaron Rodgers to be Caleb Williams' backup? How mad would you be then? Right, I'm just asking a hypothetical question. If that happened, what would you do? All right, that's good.
By the way, tonight in the NBA, the return of basketball to Los Angeles. Spurs Lakers is going to be in LA tonight. So we know, obviously, the NBA took a hiatus in LA because of these wildfires. I mean, this story continues to be extremely topical in Southern California. There's reports of some fires in San Diego County at this hour. But the Lakers will get back to downtown Crypto.com Arena tonight. Lakers Spurs. Their head coach, speaking of brain fart, is JJ Redick. He lost his home in these wildfires, but he has said that it's time to kind of get us back on floor and to worry about playing games. But it's an interesting dynamic moving forward because, I mean, there's just so many questions. Like, again, sports are so secondary. We talked about this last week, right? Yeah. Sports are so secondary, but at the end of the day, also the sports are going to be played. They're in a business. The Lakers are going to play their games. The Rams have to play their postseason game. Shoot, you have the World Cup supposed to be played in LA next year. You have the Olympics coming to LA in 2028. Again, all of our thoughts are with those that have been impacted by these fires, wherever you are in Southern California, and it's impacted a lot of people. And then it does kind of cross over into the sports world. And what does it mean moving forward for things like World Cups and Olympics and NBA games and Major League Baseball and the NFL and all this? But I don't know if it's a sense of normalcy or not, but the Lakers, it'll be interesting to see what kind of crowd they have tonight. Yeah. Crypto.com downtown, returning for the first time in about a week.
By the way, iHeartRadio and dreamcenter.org are partnering up for fire relief donations right now. If you go to sportssd.com, you can find that on our website to help donate to fire relief funds. So iHeartRadio, all of iHeartRadio and Dream Center are partnering together to help with all fire reliefs. And, anything helps, obviously. Like, a lot of people can't, donate millions and millions of dollars. But if millions and millions of people donate, $50 to $100 each, that's a good sizable chunk of money.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree. Yeah. So anyway, it's just interesting. Again, it's like it takes such a back seat. I think the Clippers are in Inglewood tonight. They are. Clippers are in Inglewood. Lakers are in LA, and it's such a back seat. You hate to even, you're like calling these games, you're covering these games. You're like, well, what are we even covering? I mean, you got fires that haven't even been contained. You have hundreds of thousands of displaced people. You have scores of people that are no longer, living. I mean, you have people that have died as a result of these fires as well.
The one thing that like actually breaks my heart, and I can't even watch it or read about it, but I know how it's big it is right now, is the displaced animals that are in LA.
Yeah.
I saw a video over the weekend of someone finding their dog after 5 days, and I'm just like, oh my God. Animals have such a soft spot in my heart, especially dogs. That's like someone's missing their dog.
Right. It's not a cat, to your point.
No,
I love cats.
Cats too. I mean, just any animal that people have that are displaced, so they're missing. I mean, it's just so heartbreaking.
Well, even like the humane societies up there, I know the San Diego County Humane Societies went up there to grab, to get all the animals in those shelters and then bring them down here. So, a lot of the shelter animals too got brought down here.
Yeah. So anyway, we're thinking about everyone. And again, we're here until 5 p.m. We do have Rams football tonight coming up at 5 p.m. Rams Vikings again at 5 p.m. You can text us, by the way, 70470. Start it with the word team. 70470. Start it with team. 619 said earlier, if the Padres don't land Roki, but specifically Roki, I 100% blame the show.
Okay.
You guys definitely scared him away with your addiction to talking about one player. Well, I don't even know if he speaks English because he has a translator. And I don't think even if he does speak English, the reason he doesn't choose San Diego is us.
What if
he mentions us?
He puts out, I chose the Dodgers because I listened to a show in San Diego.
He's wearing a Jon and Jim t-shirt. It's a Jim's an idiot sticker.
That I didn't find to be somewhere where I'd want him to talk about me.
It's not going to happen. But what is interesting is that
Jon and Jim.
Reportedly, he's leaving Japan because one of the reasons why he's leaving Japan early, and he could basically cost himself $300 million, is because of the treatment by the media towards him. That's one of the reasons, reportedly, he has elected to leave Japan as a 23-year-old as opposed to as a 25-year-old because he was treated, quote, unfairly by the media.
We will not treat you unfairly here. We love you, Roki.
Mm-hmm.
We will love you unconditionally until your final day with the Padres, which we hope is like 20 years down the line.
Right.
But I get it. He did a lot of things this past year that people didn't like because they thought that he was saving himself.
Right. For Major League Baseball.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that rubs, the Japanese media the wrong way when it shouldn't be that way. It should be like, well, look, he's living out his dream. And if he wants to go and do that, he should be able to go and do that.
Right.
To discourage anybody from going and doing what they want to do is, okay.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, it's not like his past year. I mean, he's never thrown a lot of innings. That's the one thing. He's very young. He's still 23 years of age.
Yeah.
His career high in innings is 129 to third. A year ago, he only threw 111 innings. He wasn't fully healthy. He only made 18 appearances. So I don't know if the criticism was fair or not, but I do know this. If you end up in Los Angeles, if you end up here, if you end up in Toronto, there'll be criticism. That's how sports work,
right.
Especially American sports. It's just part of the process, right? It's like you got to have thick skin to play professional sports and to be a public figure like that. The truth is, man, is it at the end of the day, every athlete deals with it. Some of the best athletes of all time, LeBron James would be included in that.
Yeah,
he deals with as much criticism as anyone.
Yeah, but he's also the best player in the sport, or was, or whatever you want to say.
Yet he's the most criticized player in the sport.
I know, because he is the number one guy the last 2.5 decades.
So wouldn't you think you'd be less criticized if you were the number one guy? But it's my point is, it's just part of being
more eyes on you.
It's part of being an athlete in America, specifically in a big market, but I think anywhere, truthfully.
Because you know what's going to happen is, say when Roki comes here, say he does decide to go with the Padres.
Okay.
And in 6 seasons, the Padres make 3 postseason appearances.
All right.
And by the time they make the postseason for Roki here, whenever that is, he's already deemed like one of the best pitchers in the sport. made an all-star team or
Sure.
multiple all-star teams, maybe finish top 3 in Cy Young voting or whatever, right? And say he doesn't perform in the postseason. And say the 3 postseasons the Padres make, Roki does not do well in the postseason. Yet in the regular season, guys viewed as like a top 3 pitcher in the sport. Maybe he wins a Cy Young. I don't know. Then you're right. The narrative around Roki will be he can't perform in the postseason. So as you say, the more eyeballs on you, you're bound to get criticism if you don't perform. That's just how it is.
And not just that. Here's what I think is going to happen with Roki in America. It's less about what the LA media is going to say and more about what the Japanese media is going to report back to Japan.
True.
Because he's going to be covered like a hawk. Every one of his moves is going to be so highly critiqued and magnified. It's more about what the Japanese media says about him, I would guess, than what the American media is going to say about them. He's way more of a star there, being Japan, than he's going to be here, presumably.
I'm just already prepared for when I ask for a credential that they're like, oh, well, you know, Roki has too many people in the press box. I'll be like, huh? What?
Yeah.
Guys, there's some seats available. It's okay.
No doubt.
Roki doesn't have 30 people following him.
They tried that when they'd have like a middle reliever that would pitch 6 innings a year.
Yeah, there's not enough room in the press box for you guys. Okay.
All right. Is that good? The best and worst of the sports weekend is on the other side. We're here until 5. Chris Hodge taking Vegas. We'll have some free NFL and college picks for us coming up at 4:30. Don't go anywhere. It's Jon and Jim. All right, Jon and Jim until 5 p.m. San Diego Sports 760 has 13 chances to win $1,000 every weekday. With the grand in your hand cash contest, that's every hour, 6 a.m. through 6 p.m. Listen for the keyword at the top of every hour, then enter it at sportsxt.com. Presented by Palomar Solar, your trusted partner for solar, batteries, and roofing. Kyle Glaser, formerly Baseball America, will join us tomorrow at 2:30. The latest on the Roki Sasaki sweepstakes. We're here until 5. Every Monday we do this, so let's get to it.
Is that good?
Wilcox, snapper, Huber, holder, from 29 yards away. Oh, he missed it badly. Kick on the way. Boswell. That's a winner.
The good and bad from the sports weekend.
All right, I'll start with last night's game, John. Jaden Daniels just became the 4th rookie QB to win a road playoff game as the Commanders beat the Bucs last night. Brent, is that good? It is good.
It is good.
Dude is special.
Yeah, he's
when
really
you
good.
can win in the postseason with the Washington franchise, you're special. Okay, so he is special. Jordan Love, not as special yesterday. 3 picks. One-sided game, by and large. Packers fumbled on the opening kickoff. We're never really in it. 3 picks in Philadelphia for Jordan Love and a loss. Is that good?
No, it's not good. Are you kidding me?
Not
He
good.
looked awful.
He looked terrible.
On the flip side, like, the Eagles should have won that game by way more than 12 points. Now, if Saquon didn't dive at the end there, he would have scored a touchdown and it would have been 29-10, I think it would have
I mean,
been.
they covered the spread,
They did.
right?
I think they
Favored
did.
by 4 points.
But still,
5 points.
it's 16-10 in the fourth quarter, and you're like, what?
It never felt that close.
It never did, but there was a moment in that game
Yeah, moment.
when
Dude missed that extra point
Josh
early.
Jacobs
Yeah.
goes beast mode, and you're like, wait,
They
what?
had one play in the whole game. It was that play.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs had one good run. The rest of the game was dominated by Philadelphia.
I think you're up.
No.
Yeah.
What'd you say second?
I said Jaden Daniels.
That
bro.
was your first.
Oh.
And then I said my first was Jordan Love sucks.
Oh, that's right. That's
So
right.
then you go to your second.
Oh, Justin Herbert looked awful yesterday. Sorry, Saturday. Throwing 4 interceptions. He only threw 3 all year for the Chargers. Brent, is that good?
No, it's not good. Are you kidding me?
So under his belt, Herbert now has one of the biggest collapses in postseason history. 2 years ago when they lost to the Jags. Remember that game?
Yeah.
They're up
yeah.
like
They're up
24
28.
nothing or 28.
Yeah.
Lose that game. And then yesterday, going in as the favorite, granted, was on the road, has his worst game of the season for him. Now,
Correct.
he doesn't have many weapons, but still, you're favored by 3. Everyone said that Justin Herbert's like the god. He's like one of the greatest quarterbacks ever already. He hasn't accomplished anything. Threw 4 interceptions yesterday. The Chargers.
I agree with that. All right. My second one is Roki Sasaki. It's down to 3 finalists, including the Padres.
Oh, that must be nice.
Is that good? It's good. It's good. It's good because the Padres are still standing here.
They're still standing.
That's all I care about.
They're
Keep
still
the
here.
Padres in the running.
Bills are moving on to face the Ravens in the divisional round, which could end up being like one of the best games of the postseason, potentially. But their game against the Broncos on Sunday, Broncos got out to an early 7-0 lead. And the Bills went on a 31-0 run.
Yep.
31 unanswered by the Bills yesterday to move on to the divisional round. Brent, is that good?
It is good.
Bills, Ravens, man. Can't wait.
Should be a very good game. To touch more on what happened with the Eagles there late, Saquon Barkley was minus 190 yesterday to score a touchdown in that game.
Oh.
He unnecessarily slid in the waning seconds with a clear path to the end zone. He went down like 50 yards shy of the end zone. He cost a lot of people a lot of money in parlays and straight bets. He did go for 119 yards, but for whatever reason gave up in that final second, just gave himself up. Was that a good decision?
No, it's not good. Are you
Probably
kidding
dumb.
me?
I mean, even if you fumble there, dude, you're up 2 scores.
Well, he said,
It's like
look,
12 seconds.
he goes,
You can never pile onto the Packers enough for
Right.
me, so he should have scored.
yeah, I mean, I get his point. He's like, I didn't want to score because I didn't want another play to happen where potentially someone could get injured. So I kneel down.
It's like we get a
Game's
Saquon, you're
over.
humble.
Yeah, but he went down 60 yards shy of the end zone.
Yeah. So
So,
what if he
dude,
could,
he was getting. Did you see his teammates are like, "What are you doing?"
the game was over?
What they're like? What are you? You just give up a clear, easy touchdown like that? You know me. I'm pro Saquon Barkley. I thought it was dumb.
Okay.
In real time.
Okay.
Have you seen the video of what everyone all of his teammates getting on him?
I did.
It was stupid.
Okay, fine. The game was over.
It was over either way. He could have thrown the ball up in the air and quacked like a duck.
And what
the game
if,
was over?
And what if he continued to run and blew out a hamstring?
Sure. And what if a comet lands on iHeart San Diego?
And what if Roki Sasaki signs
with the Blue Jays? Exactly. It's out of our control. Yeah. Well, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Okay.
All right. In the 4:00 hour, we have Aztec basketball tickets to give away. So we'll do that coming up in the 4:00 hour. Plus, Chris Hodge taking Vegas will join us coming up at 4:30. He's been really good for our listeners. More winners this past week. And again, we've got this Monday Night Football NFL wildcard game. It's kind of weird. They're there getting us ready. Monday Night Countdown. People are filing into Glendale, Arizona for this neutral site game between the Rams and the Vikings. Who has more fans tonight in the building?
Rams, I think.
Rams?
Yeah, the proximity is much closer to
is
LA
it?
than
It's
it
funny
is to
because
Minnesota.
when the Rams play the Niners in LA and it's closer to LA, it's all red. That's so weird.
Because a lot of Niners fans live in LA and they also travel really well.
I know, but I feel like Vikings have a good fan base.
They do. I'm just already predicting, as JB Long said to us last week, before the news that this game was being moved, that all indications early on show there's going to be a very pro-Rams crowd.
As if the game was in LA.
Right. I think that's going to translate to Arizona.
Phoenix, maybe. Yeah, I think it'll be like a bowl game, truthfully.
I don't know if it's going to be a sellout, but there's going to be a lot of fans. Like if we were in Arizona,
I'd hit it up.
Just hanging out, be like, hey, you want to get tickets to a Rams Vikings game for like $50? Like,
I don't think it'll be as bad as a bowl game because like the bowl game, they have equal amounts of tickets for both teams. This one, since technically they're trying to make it a home game for the Rams, they should have sold equal amount of tickets to the Viking fans that they did to the Rams fans.
Well, I'm looking at StubHub right now. We're an hour out from this game. Yeah, it's not cheap to get in. It's about $100 to get in tonight. So I'm going to assume it's sold out.
Wait, not cheap? That's cheap to my.
You think it's cheap?
$100?
A neutral site NFL game? I thought it'd be like $10.
Playoff game, John? No.
But neutral site,
Super Bowl's
everything
neutral
going
site.
on. Well, there's a little difference between the Monday Night Rams Vikings game and the Super Bowl.
But still, it's a playoff game.
Think?
It's in a regular season game, though.
No, I understand.
That's where I'm coming from. If it was a regular season game, that's a lot. Postseason game, to me, $100. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you could sit 50-yard line for like $200.
Okay.
So, I mean, yeah,
I'm sure that's
I think it'll be
triple
good
the
crowd.
price in LA. That's so far.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, back to the latest on Roki Sasaki. He's down to 3 finalists, including the Padres. Padres, Dodgers, Blue Jays, the final 3 teams standing for Roki Sasaki. We have the latest coming up on the other side. We have Aztec basketball tickets to give away for Saturday. This is a game against UNLV at 5 p.m. We also have Aztec basketball back at Viejas Arena tomorrow at 5 p.m. tomorrow at 8 p.m. with pregame coverage beginning at 7 p.m. We can get into this past weekend for the Aztecs, the ramifications moving forward as well with Colorado State tomorrow night. But again, hour 3 of Jon and Jim, Rams, Vikings coming up at 5 right here on San Diego Sports 760. We'll get you ready for that, plus the latest on Roki Sasaki. Hour 3 of Jon and Jim comes your way next.
All right, this update is brought to you by unbound.org. Jeff Passan reporting earlier this afternoon that the 3 teams that are the finalists for Roki Sasaki are the Toronto Blue Jays, the LA Dodgers, and your San Diego Padres. You can't make a decision until Wednesday the 15th at the earliest. Moving over to San Diego State, they take on Colorado State tomorrow night at Viejas Arena, 8 p.m. tip time. You can listen right here on San Diego Sports 760. News in NFL world today. Mike McCarthy, he is out as the Cowboys head coach. And tonight, the final game of Super Wildcard weekend between the Rams and the Vikings. 5 o'clock is kickoff. You can listen right here on San Diego Sports 760. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Previously on Jon and Jim.
I need to hear from John Sadler. Now, he's not even the chairman yet. They expect he'd be the chairman potentially by the start of spring training. Right now, the chairman is Eric Itsenda.
So does anybody know what John Sadler looks like?
Who is this?
Deja vu. It's like the Eric Itsenda conversation.
I'm dead serious.
No idea.
Well, apparently, according to, reports, is like, dude was around the ballpark a lot, yet no one knows what he looks like.
Now, time for Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Final hour of Jon and Jim here until 5. Chris Hodge taking Vegas will join us at 4:30. There's an interesting development, and thank you whoever put it in the chat on YouTube. Someone said there's a subreddit of Sasaki pitching at Petco Park. So I don't use Reddit a lot. I just went to Reddit, typed in Padres Reddit, scrolled down 5 different threads, Jim, and I see someone posted Sasaki throwing a bullpen at Petco Park. Please let him sign with the Padres. We're zooming in on this thing. I mean, I can't confirm it's Roki Sasaki, but there's a right-handed pitcher throwing. There appears to be the rodeo set up on the field. The field's all torn up, but there's Padres executives there, and he's not throwing on a mound, but he's almost long tossing or throwing at Petco Park. Thoughts? I can't confirm it's him or when this was from.
Okay. Well, look, that is definitely recent because the rodeo's going on. Like the setup is Petco during the rodeo. And looking at whoever this person is on the field, that looks like Roki's mechanics.
It's like all long and skinny. Yep.
Now, is there anybody else there? Does it look like
there's a lot of people there? A lot of people. No one else throwing. There are look how many people are there in that video. There's 10 or 15 people in that video watching.
Can you
10 or 15?
Can you find Preller in that video?
I was looking. I didn't know if he was behind him or behind the catcher, potentially. Again, now we're doing like our CSI investigation. It looks like, I can't confirm it, it's in Reddit. It looks like Roki Sasaki throwing on field at Petco Park. That's what it appears to be, right?
It appears to be. And this isn't like a video from earlier. I don't know, dude.
What do you mean earlier? Oh, like previously, like at another time? Well, here, let's watch him throw in Japan. And then let's watch him throw this bullpen. And does it look like the same pitcher throwing or not? I guess that's really the question.
Okay, I love that.
But we have an ad loading on MLB YouTube. But like, it kind of looks like him. All right, so this is Roki Sasaki.
Okay, that's great.
Before, right?
That's great. He's walking.
Oh, look,
he's walking. That's great.
He's
picking up a baseball. Okay.
I mean, dude, look at this dude's legs. Like, skinny.
Stop.
Well, you want to watch this?
There we go. Okay.
Does that look like him?
Yep.
You say that's the same person.
It looks a lot like him.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't know. I mean, again, like we're getting deep in the weeds a little bit. Roki Sasaki throwing bullpens. Like, is that actually Roki Sasaki? Jim's tweeting about it, so he must think it is.
I'm just saying, is this Roki? All I said is this Roki Sasaki at Petco over the weekend? Padres
Right.
Twitter, do your thing.
Do you tweeted that?
Yeah.
On Twitter?
Right now.
Okay.
I'm not going to say that's him.
Even though you just
I asked.
said it was?
I asked the question: is this him?
Right.
That's not me saying it is him.
It kind of is, right?
No, it's not.
It's not?
No.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard because you can't zoom in on this. I mean, I got this full screen, but it's vertical video. Preller's got to be there, dude. Someone's on a phone. That's got to be him. He's on a phone.
Hold on. I got to pause.
Someone's on a phone, dude. Can you zoom in on that?
Okay.
It's hard to zoom in on video.
Let's see here. It's all blurry.
Right.
But I got a tall person in the back wearing a backwards hat. Looks like a cutoff tee. Is that Joe? No. And then I got a bunch of people sitting down on a stage.
Well, someone replied to you saying, yeah, that's Ethan Salas catching. By the way, interesting development. Ethan Salas is now following Roki Sasaki on Instagram.
Is that Ethan Salas? That is.
Yeah,
look at his hair.
That's Ethan Salas. It looks just like him. That's Ethan Salas.
Okay.
So we're going to say that this is Roki from this weekend?
I guess.
It's Jon and Jim. We're not exactly Walter Cronkite. I mean, we don't have to be right here, right? I mean, but it appears as if someone that resembles Roki Sasaki is throwing to someone that resembles Ethan Salas in the presence of someone that resembles AJ Preller. That's what it appears to be.
Okay.
So now is that a development that gives you more hope?
Yeah.
Are you intrigued by him throwing?
Hell yeah, dude.
Hey, let me put on my glove and let's get out there.
Bro, if you showed me this video a week ago, full stop.
I know.
I'm stopping everything I'm doing to watch this.
3 people have said, yeah, that's him in reply to your tweet. So, I mean, that doesn't mean it's him.
But doesn't mean it's not him.
Was AJ like, dude, why do we have the rodeo this weekend? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I mean, the field is all torn up.
Yeah, they've had concerts there. And
yeah.
The rodeo's going on.
He's throwing on the edge of the field right by the warning track and left.
And he's throwing at Ethan Salas.
Yep. And he's not on a mound.
No, it's flat ground.
Right.
Now, it's not like a bullpen because they're just playing catch.
They're just playing catch.
He's wearing yellow shorts. It looks like he's wearing a brown
Padres gear.
Yeah, brown Padres top. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 people watching.
13 people.
13 people. And then 14, there was somebody behind Roki watching him throw.
Right.
Okay. So
this is an interesting development.
We have a developing
because
story.
We went from, we started the day, the Padres were one of like 9 teams. Now, according to Jeff Passan, they're one of 3 teams, Padres, Dodgers, and Blue Jays. And now we're learning that apparently he threw like a side session at Petco Park during the rodeo this weekend. Like, was the rodeo on the field at the same time, you think? Was Petco filled with 40,000 fans and like bulls were there?
I don't
think.
They
had to explain to him that horses will not be on the field when the season starts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But
this is fascinating.
I could watch this. I've watched this video 30 times.
Me too.
Already.
This is like, this is fascinating.
Because he's clear. I mean, yeah, the more I watch it, the more convinced it's like, okay, that is Roki.
Everyone says it's his mechanics.
And it's because it's his mechanics.
Whoa, is Musgrove there?
That's what I said.
I wasn't listening to you.
Okay, I said Musgrove looks like he's there wearing a backwards cap and a cutoff tee.
Musgrove, dude. That's Musgrove.
Okay.
100%
So Musgrove is there. He can't throw.
Does he have something on it? Yeah, he's got like his arm sleeve on or something.
And then you got...
Well, you got to have Ruben there.
AJ's sitting down here somewhere. I think he might be talking to Ruben Niebla. Musgrove.
Dude, we're breaking this thing down.
Oh, I'm going to break this down
we
for the
are
rest of the hour.
breaking this thing down, dude.
So, all right, you got one guy on their phone in front of Joe. You have Joe that I think looks like he's talking to Ruben Niebla.
Right.
I don't know where Preller's at. Preller might be sitting down with these first 3 people right here. He's wearing like a hoodie. Like, I think that might be Preller.
That's so Preller. Who are the other like 11 dudes?
Well, you also have probably scouts there.
Yeah.
Mechanic. I mean,
like
I don't know who's behind Roki.
Bullpen coach.
Okay.
All right. I mean, haven't seen him doing this in Toronto. Haven't seen him do this in LA.
Yeah.
This is an interesting development.
Bro. I need more.
I know. I need more video.
So
who took this video?
I don't know, but it was
Slam Diego or something.
On Reddit, the user was Slam Bam Barino.
Well, they must have known this might get out because anything that's on field at Petco, there's all those apartments.
Yeah, you can see
You're gonna go on
clearly.
field.
in.
Everyone always sees the bullpens going
Now,
on.
the angle of this though, where is it? Is it center field?
It's a great point.
This looks like right.
No, dude.
Right
You know where
field?
this is? This is Western Metal Supply up high.
No,
Yes.
no.
This is left field. How would you be this is left field. That's the warning track. How could that be right field?
Because that's the corner there, bro. That's the right field terrace.
Ew.
That looks like right
Where's that
field.
foul territory?
No. This looks like center, right center. Like, look
No,
at
dude.
Petco. No. I love how we're breaking this down. Dude, no. That's the porch in right field, right?
I don't know. I
That-
thought
that's not foul
that's the
ground.
left field
No.
foul line.
No, because the foul lines in left and right field are just straight. And
This is so
that's the foul.
dumb.
See the foul pole right there?
Yeah,
That's
I
the
see
foul
it.
pole.
I see it.
That to me is right field. So he is in right field throwing
Well, then who would be shooting over top right field?
from the apartment buildings that look over Petco Park.
From right field?
From left field. So there's
Okay.
apartment buildings that you could look over the park,
No, yeah, I know.
left field. And if you look inside there, like you can see. Oh, that's
All
a
right.
great picture of
Yeah,
Petco.
this is
really.
Well, no, it was this one, you idiot.
What? The dimensions?
You guys are just like Costner and JFK back.
That's
and
what
to
I'm
the
saying,
left,
man.
Back and to the left.
They said Reddit user
Back
deleted the
and to
video.
the
Well,
left.
too bad because I have
too
the
bad
video.
because Jim posted
Yeah,
it.
because I posted the video.
Hold on, look, hear
I
me
need-
out, Jim.
I need
Look
clicks
at
and
this.
views.
I'm zooming in.
That's right field. Oh, maybe that is left field.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe that is.
That's
left
why I
field.
think it's coming from up high in the Western Metal.
No, wait, hold on. No, hold on, wait. Nope, that's not.
It's
That's-
right field. You're right. It's right field. It's
Right
right
field.
field.
Okay.
It's right field.
So, to recap,
Well, why the guy take it down? Are you going to be told to take it down?
oh, that's a good point.
It's on the internet. You can't take anything off the internet.
Do you think that someone's going to contact me and be like, "Hey, you can't do that"?
Yeah, you're going to be the reason why he doesn't sign here.
Oh no.
You are literally going to be the reason why he chooses LA. You're going to get your likes. Going to get your likes, man. Hope you're happy.
And then they're gonna find out John's that guy from Yahoo Japan, and
Dude.
it's over.
Dude, this is going to be all over the place.
I didn't even think about that. Well, you know what? Do I care? Not really.
Well, you care if he doesn't land here.
No, but
And
do I
if you're
care?
the reason
Do
as
I-
to why.
Look, the video's out there,
Right.
and it was on Reddit.
But has it really been taken down off Reddit? I don't think so.
I don't know.
We're on Reddit. It's up
Hold
there
on.
right now.
Is it up
No,
there?
it's up. It's up. Gone. Gone, dude. You have the only known video on the internet of Roki Sasaki throwing a bullpen, and you could be the reason why he doesn't sign here.
Dude.
Should you take it down?
Should I?
No,
No, be a man. What's the worst thing that happens?
I get in trouble.
Correct. You've already gotten into trouble 1,000 times. All right, we'll have an update on that on the other side. Check out at Jim Russell SD on Twitter while it's up. Roki Sasaki throwing a side session at Petco Park. The only known video on earth of this because it's been deleted off Reddit.
But the thing is, I'm now scared that they're gonna contact me and be like, "Hey, take that down, Jim."
Well, someone else has posted it because Too Much Morton's retweeted someone else. Roki Sasaki throwing a bullpen at Petco Park and Padres close 11 minutes ago, not you.
Okay,
So, you're not the only one that has it up. All right, much more on this on the other side. We'll get to the wrap and Chris Hodge at 4:30. It's Jon and Jim. All right, hey guys, it is Schaefer and homeowners. It's time to start fresh in 2025. Loan Pronto's here to help you take control of your finances by lowering your house payment and consolidating that nagging debt. Did you know that 9 out of 10 borrowers get a better deal by calling Loan Pronto? Right now, Loan Pronto has some of the most competitive offers for refis, debt consolidation, and purchase loans starting in the low 5s APR. If your current rate's over 6%, don't settle for paying too much. even if you're in the process with another lender. Call Loan Pronto, lock in a lower rate today, and close in as little as 2 weeks, often with no appraisal. You can even skip your next 2 house payments. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Get your personalized Loan Pronto rate quote instantly with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees. Call now, 619-207-4336 or loanpronto.com. That's 619-207-4336 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLS consumeraccess.org. All right, AM radio keeps vital voices accessible. Congress can secure its future. We need your help. Text AM to 52886 now to support keeping AM radio in cars. Tell a member of Congress to pass legislation that will keep AM radio in cars. Standard message and data rates apply. Chris Hodge will join us at 4:30. I think it's confirmed at this point. It's absolutely
Yeah.
It's definitely Roki Sasaki. He was throwing a side session, so to speak. Petco doesn't mean he didn't do it in Toronto or Los Angeles, but it's interesting nonetheless. You got the entire Padres brass watching Roki this past weekend, apparently throwing at Petco Park.
How does and I'm not disparaging the guy that posted this video, some random person post and is filming Roki throwing at Petco, yet no reporters find out that he's throwing or was throwing at Petco Park? How is that
Good
not reported?
question. I mean, maybe it's just like someone working and like painting the ceiling, and they're out in the seating bowl, and they're like, "That's Roki Sasaki video."
But my point is, like, if some random person can find this or film this video and post it on Reddit, now it's blowing up everywhere.
Right? Like, how is a reporter not in on it?
How is it not
Maybe
been
they
reported?
were told
on?
not to say anything about it.
Well,
And it leaked.
Well, here's the thing, Brent. That's ridiculous if that were the case, because a reporter's job is to report things that they hear, not bow down to a team telling them not to do something.
I think they're trying to keep it secretive would be my guess. But then again, going on field during the rodeo where anything that happens on field is always going to be videoed.
And you have apartments and buildings everywhere.
Right? Well, I'm surprised that his visit to San Diego didn't come out until today publicly, because this obviously happened this past weekend.
Right.
So they kept the thing pretty secretive, or to your point, and I agree with you, people were in the know, but were told not to talk about it.
I mean, of course, the ways that we find out Roki was here at Petco Park. I mean, Kevin reported it or Dennis reported it,
Right.
but we get actual video evidence of it.
Yeah, like this is real.
Yes, and he's not only throwing, he looks like he's throwing to Ethan Salas, who recently just followed him on Instagram. Looks like Joe Musgrove is there. And again, these guys, we could be completely wrong on Ethan
Where's
Salas.
Darvish?
I don't know. Maybe he's sitting down.
Yeah.
We could be completely wrong on Salas, completely wrong on Joe.
No.
But that is Roki. That looks a lot like Roki.
It does.
If it's not
Same
Roki,
delivery.
yeah. If it's not
If
Roki,
it's not, sign him. I like this dude.
yeah, he looks good.
I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
Sign this dude. He looks good. So, man, it is really fascinating. Like now we're nearing the end, folks. He was just like a glimmer in our eye 100 days ago.
It's going to hurt even more.
And now his feet are on ground downtown San Diego.
And he's
this
wearing
weekend.
Padres gear, throwing Ethan Salas.
And it's not the first time we've seen him in Padres gear.
The future is in that little 10-second video, Roki throwing to Ethan Salas.
Or is it? Right? We may never see Roki in a Padre uniform. We don't even know when Ethan's going to be in the big leagues. Or you're right. Maybe this is 26, 27, 28, 29.
You know what this
seasons?
You know what this really does right now? This sets up like the expectations to be not only through the roof, but if and when he chooses the Dodgers, it is going to be
brutal,
awful.
Where's John Seidler?
He's sitting down, bro.
Is he? We don't know what he looks like, so how do we know?
I have no idea.
He's probably catching.
And it's little blurs. That's all we're seeing.
So you think they like texted Joe? They're like, "Yo, head out here. Roki's gonna throw in an hour." Is that all right? Be there.
Yeah, Joe's. Maybe he's doing rehab. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll watch. Yeah, I'll watch that side session from Roki. Fascinating, man. I just need an answer. I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. I need an answer.
And you're so close, and you see him there, and that's why it's going to hurt even more if he doesn't choose San Diego.
Yeah, I agree.
Like you see him, he's at Petco, he's throwing Ethan Salas, he's wearing Padres gear.
Right.
His feet are on the ground.
Yes.
He's talking to scouts. And if he doesn't choose here, it's like, oh, why?
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, we said that. We've said that. Like, you get this close to something, like, I'm all in, but you know that when you go all in on something and you don't get it, it hurts. Like, this will really, really sting. It's already been a kind of a bad start to the offseason. The way 2024 ended, this whole lawsuit is playing out as well. They really need this. Like, Padres fans need this. In terms of need factor, there's no question. Dodgers don't need Sasaki.
No.
Padres like truly need him.
Yeah. Like it won't automatically guarantee them to have a good season, but for the future of the team on field, you get another player in here that could change the fortunes on field as far as like, you know, helping this team win right now. Because you need pitching badly. If you're not going to resign Dylan Cease or Michael King, you need something. And to have Roki there will only make the fan base even more excited. And it will be, I mean, if you're John Seidler, if you're the Seidler Bros, you need this to happen to get some heat off your back. Right now.
You land him, man. You got all the cover in the world. You got cover. You got cover. All ownership groups are under pressure.
I would put all of this on AJ, the ownership.
But they will have cover. And the truth is, it doesn't matter what anyone thinks about the ownership group. They'll control it. So if John Seidler is the chairman of the San Diego Padres, you can be upset about it. Guess what? They've still not all their season ticket members. So, like, it only is going to have so much teeth. People are mad at John Seidler. I just think this provides cover. Yeah. Truthfully, I think the ownership stuff, we said this last week, it's going to go under the radar. It's going to go under the radar. Nobody's going to be talking about the inner workings of the lawsuit for 300, 400. It'll pop up. Briefly, oh, it's in court, or oh, this team's going to be sold. But I'm sure the Padres will say,
this is perfect in the chat. Raul Perez says, Roki, I enjoy privacy and people who respect it. Russell, hold my beer.
Dennis Day wants a mid-sized market so people won't be like critiquing every one of his moves. And now we're watching him at the rodeo and we're wondering if it's him.
We're watching a secret video of him pitching at Petco Park. That I'm sure all the people watching didn't want to get out.
They don't want it out, man.
And now it's
although if they didn't want it out, there's a reason they have indoor cages. If they truly didn't want it out, they would just do it inside. You don't have to go outside.
Yeah,
They throw inside all the time.
And you run the risk of when you go and throw bullpens at Petco Park during the day, you're going to have somebody see it.
Good point.
That place is, you can't hide in Petco Park on the field. You can't hide.
Man, we both watched this.
So now my question is this.
Does he get to keep the Padres here besides the Dodgers?
Right. Are they going to keep the Padres here?
That was your question?
No, I was thinking about it. And I was thinking if it was filmed. So what angle it was filmed at?
Was it filmed in 4K?
Like, I need to go to the spot. Like, this is the spot.
This is where Roki was filmed.
Was it this building? Was it this building? That building? Was it this building?
This is Tatis' home run distance at Dodger Stadium. Black. Dodgers don't run it.
He was filmed here for the first time. Black.
All right, Chris Hodge taking Vegas. Free picks for our listeners. The latest on Roki. Don't go anywhere. Jon and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by Unbound.org. San Diego State, coming off their loss against New Mexico, will take on Colorado State tomorrow night at Viejas Arena, 8 p.m. tip time. You can listen right here on San Diego Sports 760. The finalists for Roki are set. It's going to come down between the Blue Jays, Dodgers, and the Padres, according to Jeff Passan earlier today. NFL news of the day, Mike McCarthy is out as head coach of the Cowboys. And tonight, final game of Super Wildcard Weekend, Vikings and Rams from Arizona. Kickoffs at 5:15. You can listen right here on San Diego Sports 760. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Great to have Chris Hodge taking Vegas back with us. NFL postseason well underway. And of course, we have Vikings Rams coming up in about 30 minutes right here on San Diego Sports 760. So last week, he joined us and Notre Dame did pull through. So on the text line, Chris is 11-2 over his last 13 plays. He was 1-1 with his free picks on the show last week. 20-9 with his last 29 picks. Chris Hodge has been great for our listeners over the years. He's red hot here in 2024, heading into 2025. So, Chris, great to have you back. I know you have a free pick tonight on this one as well, right? Vikings and Rams.
Yeah, and actually, this is our biggest free pick of the weekend in terms of the wild card game. This was the game we honed in on. This was announced. The text line, guys, has been great, and you guys texted in on Thursday. Got Notre Dame 11-2 over the last 13. Well, let's keep it going. So if you text the word win to the number 545454, Minnesota, LA tonight. Arizona. But we got to win it nonetheless. Where the game is, text the word win to the number 545454.
Text win 545454 for tonight's game. Minnesota and the Rams this weekend. We got divisional round matchups. Kansas City and Houston. We'll start with that game.
Fascinating game, man. Back and forth. The first thing is, days away from this, okay? So I'm just going to give you some tidbits on the game and what I think is going to happen in some teams during the week. Obviously, everyone listening, use your brains and just go from there. But if you look at what Kansas City has done this year, they've been this heavy of a favorite 7 times. They're 7-0 outright. They're 0-7 against the spread. Okay? The last time they played Houston was back on December 21st, and they were only a 3.5-point favorite in that game. Go back and look at that game. It was highly contested. Kansas City won by 8. We have in that situation, Tank Dell had a good game. He had 6 receptions for 98 yards. Obviously, he's not playing. So you take him out. Nico Collins now becomes the number 1 wide receiver. What does Kansas City do so well? They do what like Belichick used to do with the Patriots. They take your best player away, and especially at home in the playoffs. So that's something to be aware of. Also, weather. Okay, it's supposed to be really nice in Kansas City this week up until Saturday when they're expecting snow. So you have a dome team, okay, coming outdoors, and this will be, even though Houston played there a few weeks ago, this will be the coldest game Houston has played in this season. So you got a couple things working against both teams. So here's where I'm going to go. Right now, this moment, I'm going to take Kansas City. They're the better team. They have the better quarterback. They have the better coach. I take nothing away from Houston. I just think it's a really tough spot at this moment. I think Kansas City will win the game by at least 10. They're laying 7.5. Of the 4 games that will be played this weekend, obviously we don't know who's Philadelphia's playing yet, but of the 4 games that will be played coming up, I think this is going to be the toughest game. So just be careful with it. Don't go crazy. And just for a little free pick right now, we'll go with Kansas City.
All right, KC minus the points if you want tonight. Again, Minnesota, LA, in Arizona. Just text the word win, WIN, to 545454. That's win to 545454. Another divisional game. Lions off the bye, getting the Commanders off the close win last night. How do you feel about this one?
So this is a weird one too. I'm going to go with the under. Now here's why. Now I hate to say this about 2 coaches who have done a good job. Both of these coaches have done a fantastic job. But in terms of going for it on 4th down, these are 2 complete idiots. They make no sense when they decide to go for it. When they decide to punt it, they make absolutely no sense. And look, Washington won the game last night, but there were a couple situations where that guy should have kicked the field goal and he did not. And they were lucky to get out of that game. Tampa Bay had to do some stuff wrong. So here's the way I see this game. The total is 55.5, which is high for the playoffs. Okay. Detroit's defense is getting healthy. And both of these coaches find ways to go on drives and then screw them up by not taking points. This has happened all year long. And there's two ways you could look at that, right? Well, they didn't take the field goal. They went for it. It could turn into a touchdown. But it generally, in the playoffs, the games will play so tight, okay? I just think these decisions are going to come back to hurt both offenses in this game. And to get this 56, which is what it needs to get to lose this bet, a lot has to go right for both offenses. So I think it's going to be a very good game. I think it's going to be tightly contested defensive. And I don't see the game getting past 47 points. That's where we kind of have it at right now. So go with both defenses here. Take the under 55.5. I think it's going to be a good game, and I think the defenses will win the day.
All right, so you don't just do football, but, college basketball is going on right now. There's a big college basketball game coming up here on Wednesday night. What can you tell us about that big game that you guys are zeroing in on?
Okay, so here's the deal with this game. So we didn't use any college basketball tonight, and we're not really going crazy tomorrow. There is a matchup on Wednesday. Now, in fairness, obviously the line is not out on this game, but we pretty much know where the line is going to be. This is a game, and I'm going to tell you the game. It's Iowa State and Kansas. We absolutely love this game. So here's the deal. If you text the word win to the number 54545, you can get the free pick between Minnesota and LA tonight. Okay? You're not going to get anything from us tomorrow, but you will automatically receive this play on Wednesday, absolutely free as well. We love this game. It is one of our biggest college hoops games of the year so far. And here's the deal with college hoops right now. I've been in this business. This is my 20th year in this business. We are off to our best start by far in college basketball. The record is insane right now. So, guys, if you want to get involved, obviously football only has a few games left. All right? College basketball is where you make some money at. So we're going to give you this game tonight for free, and then we're going to give you that game on Wednesday for free.
All right. So, again, if you want the free picks, all you have to do is text the word win, W-I-N, to 545454. Again, text win to 5454, and you'll get this Vikings-Rams game without giving away the pick. What are your general thoughts, Chris, on everything that's transpired here? Moving a game in the postseason, I mean, that's obviously a rarity, and that's what's playing out this tonight here in the NFL.
So, obviously, you got the thing going on with Los Angeles. And, look, it didn't look like the L.A. Chargers had their minds on that game.
Right.
And rightfully so. So, obviously, L.A. in that same situation. But here's the deal with the game tonight. And, again, I don't want to try to give too much away. Sam Darnold had to play a big game last week, and he did not play well against Detroit. Matthew Stafford is a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. Overall, team-wise, Minnesota right now might have the better team, but when these two teams played each other, a couple months ago, the Rams beat them up pretty well. I mean, Minnesota didn't lose a lot of games this year. One of them was to the Rams. So it's a really hard game for the public with the wildfires, the move, playing in a neutral site, one quarterback against another quarterback who's not as well, but the team that he plays for probably is better. So it really is a tough game tonight, which is why take all that guesswork out of it. We've done all the work for it. So you text the word win to the number 545454, and we'll give it to you for free.
Looking forward to tonight, Chris. We always appreciate it. Again, if you've missed out, Chris Hodge has been red hot for our listeners, 11-2 over his last 13 plays on the text line when joining us here on the show. So text win to 545454, and we'll catch up again next week. All right.
All right. Thank you. It was tough loss for Penn State for you, right? That one hurt.
Man, I mean, yes. Yes.
It wasn't great.
It
Chris.
wasn't great, especially the manner in which they lost, which very winnable. It's like it's one thing to lose. It's another thing to lose a winnable game. And it felt like it was a very winnable game.
Well, here's all I'll say about that. James Franklin doing James Franklin type things.
Yeah. What is he? 1-18 at Penn State against top 5 teams.
No,
why are they throwing the ball at the end of the
1-18.
game? Just go to overtime.
Yeah, it was. It's one of those things that James Franklin will be thinking about for the next 10 years, probably, maybe longer.
Probably.
Truthfully, Chris, appreciate it, my friend.
All right, have a great night, guys.
We'll do it again next week. All right, Chris Hodge from Taking Vegas.
They're not being Ohio State anyway, so it doesn't matter.
No, but this is a dumb way to look at it. It's
I
like
know,
saying,
but
I don't want to be in the Super Bowl because I'm an underdog.
But if Ohio State beats Notre Dame by like 30 points,
True. What if Notre Dame wins? Because you would say right now Notre Dame's not going to win.
Correct. They're going to be big underdogs, right?
9.5 points.
Ooh.
So when is that game?
Next
Monday night.
Yep.
MLK.
Yep.
Yep. All right.
Must be nice.
Are you still deciphering Roki video from Reddit?
I've watched
by
this
zooming in.
I've watched this video, no joke, 340 times already.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually audio attached to it that I didn't realize.
And the audio suggests Yu Darvish is in fact sitting there watching this side session.
Yeah, the person who is filming this is saying, "Well, there's Roki, there's Joe, there's AJ, and there's Yu Darvish."
Right.
Okay.
I mean, that's everyone's there.
Yeah. And we know the two guys that will be here after this upcoming season that are under contract are you and Joe.
Do you think Darvish is like, man, have you seen the Canadian dollar right now? You might want to look at Toronto. You're getting a good return up there. The Toronto suburbs are spectacular.
I don't think so.
Have you seen the renovations to Skydome?
I don't think so. Maybe Hideo Nomo's there. I don't know.
Right.
You know,
part of the Padres organization.
I'm sure that it would be nice to have him involved. I think he is involved. AJ is definitely there.
Johnny Seidler?
I bet. Yeah, no. I bet Ruben is there.
Well, this is no longer happening. We think this is from the weekend, right?
I think this is from the weekend. And if this was from today, that'd be just
even
wild.
more massive. Right.
But I mean, if what?
He also threw a side session at Rogers Center.
Yeah, I don't care. That doesn't matter.
A video seen by Sportsnet showed a pitcher throwing on flat ground at Rogers Center, surrounded by Jays officials.
Where?
We just got tagged into it. It's from 7 hours ago. So yeah, this has been up for 7 hours. And Sportsnet covers the Blue Jays. Someone witnessed him throwing inside Skydome.
Yeah, where's the picture at?
Well, but Skydome's a dome.
Yeah, but there's also like offices in there and like
there's a hotel.
A hotel.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. So you don't believe this? I think it's a lie. He flew to Toronto.
No, I believe that he has the places that he has visited, he's thrown for all those teams.
I think that's probably true.
That's what I think.
I still think if he goes to Toronto, I'm going to be very surprised.
I just like seeing him. But hey, as you know, the biggest news in this video is that he's wearing Padres gear, John. Did you know that?
It is a big deal.
That means freaking nothing.
The Blue Jays, by the way, have a little less international money than the Padres. A little less, about $300,000 less than the Padres. So this is a developing situation. Roki Sasaki has been in San Diego. He has thrown in front of Padres brass. As the news breaks, we have it for you here first on Jon and Jim. We've got Rams and Vikings at 5 on San Diego Sports 760. More on Roki coming up next. Bob Nightingale, don't do this to us. Rams football coming up at 5 p.m. JB Long on the call. Bob Nightingale, don't do this. So this is from Bob. Bob gets like 9% of things right, fortunately. He has quote tweeted himself about the Dodgers and Padres being favorites by writing this within the last 3 minutes. The Padres are cautiously optimistic he's coming their way. He's referencing Roki Sasaki. This is Bob Nightingale. Within the last 3 minutes, the Padres are cautiously optimistic he's coming their way. Now, he's not reporting that. He's saying the Padres are cautiously optimistic.
Well, I mean, it's reports.
But I mean, he's saying, I've spoken with someone.
Yeah.
And they're cautiously optimistic.
Roki to the Dodgers confirmed.
It was fun.
That was great. That was a great 3 months spent.
Yep, it was fun.
Talking about Roki.
When's the first Dodgers-Padres game?
Not for a while, actually.
Is it not in April?
I don't think so. Can't wait till the pitching matchup is Darvish, Cease, and King versus Ohtani, Snell, and
Yamamoto.
Roki.
Right.
Or Roki, Yamamoto, and Ohtani.
Right. So are you putting any stock into the Padres are cautiously optimistic? I mean, what does that even mean?
Look, I will believe people
I'll believe anything
other than Bob.
No, we believe anything, dude.
We do. But I mean, if the consensus around baseball from a lot of people is that the Dodgers are the favorites for Roki, then I'm going to take it as that until proven otherwise.
Well, what about Bob?
Bob is Bob. Bob is like in his own little corner.
Right.
Like,
so this is if Passan said this, we would like
jump
like commercial free.
Correct. We would jump for joy.
And like, okay, so Bob Nightingale is saying what? Again, everyone has said Padres Dodgers, and we've heard cautiously optimistic before.
Yeah. Do you think Bob saw that video that's circulating around online now of Roki, and then he just
and
put
he's
that
like,
on
I'm
himself?
going all in.
He's like, I think it's
going
going to be
in.
Roki to the Padres.
He's wearing
not realizing, by the way, that Roki apparently also did the exact same thing for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah, like Sportsnet's reporting, they have video of him throwing inside.
Can't find the video, but there's apparently video of Roki throwing.
It's like the sinister
in Blue
sling.
Jays gear. No,
it's the video
not really.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah. Can we get the video?
Yeah, the sinister sling. There was no video, remember?
Yeah.
Until there was.
So again, it appears that he has done this for multiple teams, and I'm assuming the Dodgers as well. So it's not just the Padres, unfortunately.
I mean, nobody's reported he's done it for the Dodgers as of yet.
And when I saw that video, though,
you freaked out.
Oh, 100%. The biggest takeaway to me in that video is that he is in Petco Park throwing to Ethan Salas, allegedly, and that this happened as recently as like yesterday.
Why is he throwing at Ethan Salas? Is he their starting catcher? I mean, they don't have any other catchers in the organization. I guess Campusano.
I saw on Twitter someone say it's a giant flex move by the Padres having their number one prospect catch Roki.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, like, hey, we'll have you throw to our number one prospect. Right. Oh, by the way, that guy's a catcher.
And you guys will be teammates together in Double-A to start the year. That's what they told.
Yeah, you won't make your debut until
you guys will be together with San Antonio in April. Yeah, it's a fascinating development. I mean, we learned today that he was in San Diego. That was big. Then Jeff Passan said, and then there were three: Padres, Dodgers, Blue Jays. And then we see the video from high atop Petco Park or wherever of Roki Sasaki reportedly throwing inside Petco Park this past weekend.
Do you think the Padres officials are like, why do we have to choose to have the rodeo right now? Or does it not?
No, I don't think it matters. Imagine that. It's like, yeah, I chose the Dodgers because they didn't have the rodeo.
Well, now the Dodgers also have their ballpark torn up because they're doing $100 million renovations to the dugouts and the clubhouses.
Well, I heard he doesn't like that.
They still have bullpens, so it's fine. There's no there's nothing to look inside Dodger Stadium either, like high rises or anything. So.
Yu Darvish is a godfather-like
that giant
figure.
mountain in the background.
Yu Darvish is a godfather-like figure in his life. We've been told repeatedly.
Yes.
And Yu Darvish is there?
Allegedly.
I mean, it's only a positive.
I'd rather have him thrown at Petco Park rather than not thrown at Petco Park.
Mm-hmm.
Even if he has done the exact same thing with the Dodgers and the Blue Jays.
Mm-hmm.
That means that, you know, there is still a chance. Now there's a 1 in 3 chance that he signs here.
Right.
And that's better than a 1 in 9 chance that it was, 2 days ago?
2 hours ago when
2
we woke up
hours
this
ago,
morning.
right.
We woke up and then we
Right.
start seeing this team's been crossed off the list. Mets gone. Yankees gone. We knew this would happen. Padres would be a finalist, but can they land him?
People are like, I hope this wasn't a test for fans as far as like privacy goes and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah, that's why you're right. That's
it's
why I
not,
said.
guys. Anybody could post that video, and anybody did post that video,
Right?
And you got to expect, if you're the Padres, that somebody's going to see, especially inside Petco Park. There's just too many, sight lines to see inside that place at all times.
All I know is this. This is their whole offseason. I don't see a plan B. I don't. There is. It exists. Show it to me. I hope I don't see it. I want to see plan A. This is the offseason. This is it. They've got Tyler Wade. That's been the move so far. This is the offseason.
And you're in true no limit hold'em style.
Yeah.
If that is to be what it is, which is Roki or bust. I tend to be on that side as well because you haven't done anything else. And they put all their resources into signing Roki. And because of that, they've essentially put a freeze on transactions. I also think that the lawsuit and uncertainty in the ownership group and money has something to do with that as well. Because I don't know how it couldn't, but not trading Dylan Cease is a direct correlation to them waiting for Sasaki, in my opinion.
Dude, Ethan Salas is following him on Instagram.
Oh, but it's it. It's over.
But you know what I mean? They probably are like, hey,
Give
what's
him a
your
jersey.
handle, man?
Jersey in the cart, bro. I'm going to purchase
Ethan
a Roki jersey
Salas
when he
is
signs
following
with the
him.
Padres.
Yu Darvish is following him.
I know. Like they're not. They weren't teammates for Team Japan or anything.
Right.
Oh,
I know. You're right. This is going to be the ultimate letdown if it doesn't happen. Right?
Bro, this will be, in my opinion, up there with 24 straight scoreless innings. That's number one, but this will be like right there.
I also hated Scherzer's going to be traded to the Padres, then he wasn't. But this has been a 200-day pursuit. That was like 2 hours, where we thought Scherzer was covering the Padres in 2021.
Don't remind me.
Stay tuned. He's going to join us tomorrow at 2:30, and we've got 4 hours tomorrow of Jon and Jim from 2 to 6. The very latest in the Roki Sasaki sweepstakes. San Diego, LA, Toronto, the final 3 teams standing for Roki. If you missed anything today, sportsst.com, iHeartRadio app, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, or Spotify. We're back tomorrow at 2 p.m. Again, Kyle Glaser, great baseball voice, will join us at 2:30. But Rams, Vikings coming up next. NFL wild card action for Brent and Jim. I'm Jon. Keep it here at San Diego Sports 760.
Okay, peace out. Bye.
Bye.
Roki, pick us
Soon.